President Trump was asked about the financial disclosure showing he has made more than $2 billion since his second inauguration. His response:
well, you know why I'm profiting? Because the stock market's going up. Everybody's profiting. If you have a 401k, how's your 401k done?
The president says his assets are in a trust run by his children. The White House defending his finances, saying Americans wanted a businessman to lead the country. New Federal Reserve Chair Kevin Warsh says the central bank will remain independent and seek to bring down inflation. The Fed has traditionally raised interest rates to do that, even though President Trump has been pushing the Fed to lower them. The president also posting about this today, saying Victor Willis was a good guy and crediting himself for making the Village People popular again. Willis, lead singer of the group, has died today. Would have been his 75th birthday. This is ABC News. 1 week after the deadly Venezuelan earthquake, a toddler has been pulled alive from the rubble. ABC's James Longman was there when it happened.
3-year-old Kleber Moran has become the latest miracle, surviving for 6 days trapped. The search team from Jordan used cameras to monitor him until they were finally able to get him out. He looked dazed, but rescuers say he's in good shape. In La Guaira, they're not giving up either, scanning, listening and looking for any way into the remains of people's homes.
Another weather-related scrub of a mission to save a doomed space telescope.
It's an unprecedented mission to lift the Swift satellite into higher orbit before it falls back into Earth's atmosphere and burns up. A robot called Link is to be hurled into orbit to capture the Swift space camera, latch on and gently raise its altitude by 100 miles. Officials at NASA are hoping the third time is a charm. They'll try again tomorrow to send Link on its way.
ABC's Jim Ryan. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
We are just hours away from the 5th World Cup match here in Seattle. But first, let's get a check on the roads with your KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic right now. This traffic report is brought to you by KIRO Newsradio. So far, so good on the roads. I'm only seeing a few brake lights out there. I-5 northbound, there's a little heavy congestion, but no accidents to report at this hour. I-90, it's a little bit of a struggle right now. Otherwise, on the east side, the commute from Bellevue into Seattle is under a half an hour. Everett to Seattle is about 45 minutes right now. So far, so good. Just a few brake lights here and there, but overall, a great commute. And just a reminder, if you are getting down to Seattle Stadium, a.k.a. Lumen Field, all of the roads are shut down right now, just a few hours before our match at 1 o'clock. That's your traffic report brought to you by KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. Belgium takes on Senegal at 1 p.m. at Seattle Stadium for the city's 5th World Cup match. And while soccer fans are expected to flood into the city, Chinatown International District business owners say the crowds are not reaching them. Community leaders report fans are steering clear because of the area's reputation for crime and drug activity. Now, frustrated leaders will hold a news conference today to push for change. Vince Vu, who owns Own We Bake Shop, told Gee and Ursula recently it's been a tough couple weeks.
We see a ton of crowds, a ton of people, going from point A to B, especially to the train station. But the businesses are empty.
In addition to today's press conference, CID community leaders also plan a rally ahead of Monday's match to encourage soccer fans to safely shop and eat locally. Tuesday afternoon, the Seattle City Council unanimously approved a bill allowing the closure of side streets off Aurora Avenue North to combat gun violence and underage sex trafficking. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
In the midst of what some residents call a war zone in their own neighborhood, the Seattle City Council took action, passing the bill giving SPD and SDOT authority to close side streets between 95th and 102nd to protect families and their quality of life.
9 in favor, none opposed.
Bill passes, the chair will sign it, and will the clerk please affix my signature to the legislation.
The action comes after residents initially blocked off roads themselves. Council members admit it's a temporary fix while long-term safety solutions are developed. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Some neighbors say they're finally noticing a change. Becca from Aurora tells the John Curley Show at first she was skeptical of the proposed street closures.
It's been incredibly effective at calming down the noise, the chaos, the gunfire, the pimps, the hookers, all of that now stays up on Aurora and away from our houses and our children.
The barricades were approved by the Seattle City Council after residents took the matters into their own hands, blocking streets themselves in an effort to reclaim their neighborhood. The Seattle dog, loaded with cream cheese, grilled onions, and often jalapenos, has been crowned America's best regional hot dog in a national taste test. Judges praise the cream cheese for bringing all of those flavors together.
What the cream cheese does is navigates very well into the sweetness of the onion, the mustard, and the jalapeno. Almost becomes a diplomat that brings everything together.
The Seattle dog beat out classics from Chicago, New York, and Cincinnati. So if you've ever defended cream cheese on a hot dog, congratulations, you were right all along. Now to your KIRO News Radio weather. We are cloudy again today with sprinkles this afternoon. Highs will be in the low 60s. Right now, it's about 56 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. It is July 1st. Can you believe it? Angela Poe Russell is in for G today.
Good morning.
Good morning. I also want to point out that Laura Scott is in for Chef.
Yeah, a little unusual.
Yes,
I'm excited to be here.
It's so great to have you here. And then Katrina is anchoring our news, and Nick is here too. And Nick, you probably feel a little outnumbered today.
This is scary for me right now.
Yeah, see what our life is like every day.
Now you can finally relate. Hey, yeah, the fact that I have to bring up that it's somewhat significant here that we've got a lot of women in the room. But we are going to have a great show for you. Coming up at 9:30, Washington is getting grayer. And no, it's not just about the weather. There is new census data that shows most counties are seeing more boomers and fewer kids. So the question we have is, what does this say about what's going to happen with schools or housing and the future of our state? And then you heard Katrina mention the Seattle dog is the #1 dog in the nation. Do you agree? Okay, and then we're going to bring up ranch dressing too later this show. But
yes, sometimes you just have to have a visual, Ursula.
Yes.
And yeah, this is
cream cheese on the hot dog. Okay, text us. Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line is 888-973-5476 888-973 KIRO. And let's get to it. Our top stories brought to you by Pendergast Law. As you heard in Katrina's newscast, Seattle is now giving itself another tool to respond to all the violence and sex trafficking along Aurora Avenue in the north part of the city. The city council has now unanimously passed this ordinance allowing SDOT to close streets when the police chief says it's necessary to prevent criminal activity. And that matters because neighbors say the problem is not just on Aurora itself. There are cars that are tied to the prostitution, the buyers, the pimps, and the gun violence have all been spilling into the residential streets nearby. And the city has already placed concrete barriers at North 96th, 98th, 100th, and 102nd Streets. And one neighbor was on the John Curley show and said those closures are helping.
It's been incredibly effective at calming down the noise, the chaos, the gunfire, the pimps, the hookers, all of that now stays up on Aurora and away from our houses and our children.
Now, in case you missed the interview yesterday, Seattle City Council President Joy Hollingsworth was on the show, and she says the barriers alone are not enough. She says the city still has to go after the pimps and the Johns while also getting help for the young victims who are being exploited.
What we have not focused on are the women that are being trafficked and then the girls who are being raped on Aurora that are 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
And Angela, I do think that is the real test here. Street closures may slow down the traffic, but now what?
Yeah, and that's the big question. And I'm hoping that this is a model for how we move forward. Number one, people spoke and the city listened. That's refreshing, and I think a model I would love to see going forward. I mean, how often do we get those stories where, you hear people raising a concern over and over, and and you have officials that do nothing. So this is a great thing. I know the concern here is that this is a Band-Aid. And yes, sometimes you need a Band-Aid. Sometimes you've got to kill the rat and then find out where the rats are coming from. And so this is a step, but it can't be the only step. The other piece of the story that intrigues me, I've always been intrigued by how our design can shape behavior. You talk about, we see it in traffic all the time, and we put up areas that, will slow people down or to
the circles.
All kinds of things.
Yes.
And you can do that with crime. Now, it doesn't necessarily, like I said, eliminate the cause of the issue, but you're at least not having a baby, being shot out in their house, which is what provoked all of this, or it drew attention. I don't know if you all have been following it, but There was a baby in a bassinet. There was more shooting on Aurora, which had been going on for years, and the bullet came really close to the baby's bassinet.
Yes. And I agree to some level with what you're saying, like, hey, the city responded. But I will also add that it took a lot before the city responded. This is not a new problem. This has been obvious to so many people who live and work there, or if you just drive there. Me driving to Lowe's or Home Depot, you see it all the time. And it has taken a long time to get to this point, but I'm glad that they've gotten to this point.
Yes.
It can't stop here because, as you said, concrete barriers do not stop sex trafficking.
No, you're absolutely right. And this has been the elephant in the room for many years. It's why so many businesses in that area have had to shut down early, because it's been an absolute hot mess. When you interviewed Councilwoman, or I should say
Council President,
Council President Joy Hollingsworth,
yes,
did she say what part 2 of this is? We know this can't be the end.
Well, and she said specifically, we have to do much more to hold the pimps and the Johns accountable. And what does that look like? I mean, that's a whole system thing. But yet at the same time, she also said, I trust the Seattle City Attorney when it comes to what she believes on the soap zones. I happen to disagree with that. I think that the soap zones, which were passed, which meant that you could also arrest and to be very fair, I mean, I do think most of these women are victims.
Absolutely, I know.
And I also think we need to stop the prostitution, and sometimes that means enforcing the soap zone to eliminate what is happening over there and where it's allowing that to happen. And I'm just going to share this because one of our listeners, who's probably listening right now, once shared with us that she was sex trafficked when she was younger. And she told us that the thing that finally helped her get out was that the soap law in the city where she lived was actually enforced, and she ended up getting arrested. And that arrest actually became the moment that broke the cycle of violence for her. And that's not the only answer, for sure.
Yeah. Even if we were to say, even if, let's say, our city attorney says, you know what, don't like these soap zones, not effective, then what is? What is the idea? Thus far, I haven't been presented with anything.
No. I mean, they keep saying go after the pimps
but what's the plan?
Yes.
So is
Arrest
it? Well,
more?
I know that she came out. I want to say it was a month ago.
Yes.
And outlined
and
some
talked
things
about the gun
and an
things.
address.
Yes.
And and so I'm looking forward to what that looks like. Is it? Here's the thing. When it comes to the city attorney, it's my understanding their job is to enforce the laws that are there. I mean, they can obviously impact in terms of what they choose to focus on, but it also is a city council thing. It is a state legislature
and
thing.
The last city council passed an ordinance that said that area, that very specific area around Aurora, is a soap zone. And so that is on the books right now. But the current city attorney has said, I don't believe in those because they disproportionately target certain populations.
So okay.
I know.
I feel like it's a broken record player, and I'm hearing the same thing over and over, how we're not doing this because of this, and we're not doing this because of that.
Yes.
And meanwhile, we're tolerating unacceptable behavior. I at least appreciate that Hollingsworth used the term children being raped. Because I'm sorry, a 14-year-old does not choose to be. No. That's so. the beat goes on this. There's no excuse.
Yes.
If there's a will, there's a way to solve it. And I'm looking forward to them coming up with part 2 of this.
Yes.
Because a part 1 with no follow-up to this is just unacceptable. And I hope we can all agree to that.
Agree. And just to be clear, too, because I do think that in the majority of the cases, the women are victims and they're being abused. And I'm not saying that I want to treat victims as criminals, but I think the system has to intervene strongly enough to interrupt what is happening right now, because what we've been doing is not working.
Yeah, so, and I'll just say this, and a lot of times in those situations when you're being trafficked, as you know, there is a person. So let's say if a volunteer tries to come help them, there's only so much the woman can do because she has a handler nearby and
right.
could be a victim.
Yes.
So the only person that probably could intervene and actually rescue is likely an officer.
Yeah.
Now, whether those charges stick, I mean, that, of course
right.
not.
I mean,
but there has to be an interruption.
Exactly. And the idea would be to help them get help. And that's the other thing that we had a Seattle Times writer who has done a lot of research into this.
Cynthia
and also
Rowe, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And she talked about that, where there was a place to help women, and that has not been funded. And I don't want to misspeak because, but she just pointed out it's like there's so many parts in the system that make it almost impossible to address this problem that has been a problem for a long, long time.
I know exactly what you're talking about. We have the nonprofit ones, but when the state changed the policies, they were supposed to have these facilities for the women, and they weren't. And it's like, how do you implement the law and not implement all of the law? Like it's
the same thing as yesterday. We were talking about the homelessness issue, where we're spending more money and we have fewer shelter beds. It's like you can't solve the problem if you have nowhere for them to go.
It seems like common sense, doesn't it?
Exactly. But I would love to hear your thoughts. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. The Supreme Court just made Washington's November ballot fight over transgender athletes a whole lot bigger now, because the court says states are allowed to ban transgender girls and women from girls and women's sports. Now, that does not change our law today, because in Washington, we still protect transgender students, and the WIAA says it will continue to follow Washington law. But voters are about to decide in November whether to move in the opposite direction. There is a November initiative that would ban trans girls from competing in K-12 girls sports and require students who want to play girls sports to provide medical documentation verifying biological sex. Let's Go Washington founder Brian Haywood was on Seattle Red. He is leading this initiative and is celebrating the High Court's decision.
And we'll be one of the first states now to put this to the vote in a blue state. And I think that's the significance here.
Now, the ACLU says these bans are discriminatory and they don't actually solve the bigger problems facing girls' sports, like funding, harassment, safety, coaching equity, and opportunity.
Yeah, with this issue, I'm always trying to understand, because And what I thought was interesting, because in this case, I decided to actually read the ruling. And I read the ruling, and I also read the dissenting opinion from Justice Sotomayor, who was also joined with Justice Kagan and with Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. And what was interesting is, in the dissenting opinion, Sotomayor said that the ban did not violate Title IX. So she agreed with that. But she said that she felt like it should have gone back to the actual lower courts for more investigation, because at issue here is this was a case of an 11-year-old who had gender affirming care, which means that the puberty was suppressed. So did not get the flush of testosterone that you would normally get. So shouldn't I be able to play with the girls? And so at issue here is whether that there still is an advantage because you were born. And so that was the tension. So she's saying that this ruling is kind of backed up. Basically the opinion by the majority. She's saying it's based on science that's not really proven yet, and we need to have them go back and investigate and get more information. But you see the tension there. If you actually
I see a lot of tension.
If you had the puberty blocker, so you didn't have, if we agree that testosterone gives this athletic advantage and you don't have that, you had gender affirming care earlier, then why not be able to play with your gender that you identify with? Because you are. Does that make sense?
It does. And that is a complication because, I will say that I think we have to be able to say two things at the same time.
I think we can do it.
Right? Okay, because I'm just going to really try to weave my way through this.
Go, Ursula.
But first and foremost, transgender kids deserve dignity. They deserve safety, privacy, protection from cruelty.
And ability to be able to play sports.
Yes.
Yes.
But the amount of hate aimed at a very small number of young people
1%
is completely out of proportion.
1%.
So, and yes, exactly. They're basically saying, 10 trans athletes in Washington out of more than 200,000 student athletes. But, and that's the but, I also think girls' sports exist for a reason, calling it girl sports. And biological sex does matter when it comes to competitive athletics. And I've kind of come around on this whole thing, which is, and I want to make it clear, this is not an attack on trans people, but it's basically acknowledging that fairness in sports matters as well.
Even if they don't get the traditional hormones because they blocked the testosterone. And that's where the science is still being debated.
But that's an even smaller fraction of the fraction that we're speaking about. And what makes me especially concerned is that the amount of debate over this has turned into something much broader and uglier than just girl sports.
Yeah, the cruelty that has come with it. We've seen a lot of ugliness around it.
Yes, and just to be clear, I want to make it clear that I want to protect girl sports. I also want to protect transgender kids from harassment and humiliation, and that is a difficult thing. And I wish that we could write legislation that would address it that way.
Yeah, well, definitely. I have two thoughts on that. I definitely think that more research and understanding what advantages actually exist that would prohibit those kids from being included. I think second of all, are there scenarios where you have mixed gender teams? We have that in Ultimate Frisbee where it's mixed gender and it's a lot of fun for them. Also, are there scenarios where states, I do appreciate that states can still create their own, laws around this, because at the end of the day, some sports, it matters more than others, what your identity is. And being able to have that flexibility matters.
It does, but it also makes it extremally complicated.
It is.
Right?
I know can y'all tell this is hard conversation.
It is, and I hope it's clear that again, I want sports to be fair, but I also want trans kids to be protected.
Absolutely.
And just in case you're wondering, because I didn't realize this, that Washington is one of 21 states plus D.C. that do not ban trans students from playing school sports that are consistent with their gender identity. Yeah. So, this decision is going to have a bit, an impact, not just here in the state of Washington.
And the other side of that, 27 have. And I didn't realize that many had.
Right?
27,
yes.
I want to say they pointed out in that ruling, which is wild. Yeah.
Okay, still ahead, we are going to be talking about the graying of most counties in the state of Washington.
Every time you say that, I feel like it's personal.
I know. Why is that?
I
feel like I'm talking about myself. And I was like, how do I feel about this story?
I'm going to let you finish.
Okay, we're going to talk about that. And then coming up at 9:47, if you are sick, when do you actually stay home? This is something that's actually affected both of us recently.
Yes.
You can hear it in our voices.
Yep.
Okay, we'll have that conversation coming up next.
KIRO Newsradio, where you hear the John Curley Show, afternoons 2 to 7.
All they care about is whether they make money. You could see it. When Trump was out of office, they lost money. Trump comes back in office, they make money. Fox stock goes up, MSNBC goes down, CNN loses viewers, they lose money, everybody's unhappy. They need people to fight.
The John Curley Show. Subscribe to KIRO News Radio on YouTube and watch live or later.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-572-3344. That's 800-572-3344.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Download the KIRO Newsradio app, where you can watch us live or stream us live anywhere, anytime.
How would this initiative, whatever this initiative is, how would he fund it?
Stay connected everywhere. Download the KIRO Newsradio app.
Check out the Puyallup Tribe's Firecracker Alley's new location at 3509 72nd Street East in Tacoma. Stock up now for your 4th and enjoy great food at Firecracker Alley. 3509 72nd Street East in Tacoma. Open now through July 4th.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than a tear out. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Stop waiting. We're having a trade-in sale. You'll save $30 per door and drawer front off the cost of your new kitchen. Count them up and see how much you'll save. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. According to financial disclosures, President Donald Trump earned more than $2 billion just last year, the vast majority of that wealth from cryptocurrency. ABC's Karen Travers has more.
President Trump downplayed the significant amount of money he made last year while in office and insisted he had no involvement.
I've made a lot of money before I became president, and they invest my money, and I don't talk to them. I don't even speak to them.
President Trump made over $1.3 billion last year from his family's cryptocurrency ventures, according to new financial disclosure documents. His administration has rolled back crypto regulations and has promised to be the most crypto-friendly in history. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
It's World Cup match day in Seattle once again. Belgium takes on Senegal at 1 o'clock. So how things have gone since the city's first match 2 weeks ago? Well, that depends on who you ask.
It has been absolutely amazing.
It's been really tough.
Amazing is how Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson describes it.
Over the past 2 weeks, we have hosted unforgettable matches.
But Vince Vu, owner of Ennui Bake Shop, told Gee and Ursula recently that match days are some of the worst days for business in the Chinatown International District.
The reputation is that it's more of like a sketchy area that's unsafe, which is the furthest it can be from the truth.
Today, business owners are in the CID and they're holding a news conference to demand the city do something about the open-air drug use that still plagues 12th and Jackson, despite Wilson's pledge last month to fix the problem. 5 people are without a home after a 2-alarm fire tore through a Mercer Island house overnight. East Side Fire and Rescue Battalion Chief John Wiseman tells KIRO 7 TV.
We've finally got it down to where it's under control, and we're going to be probably patrolling this for well into the morning.
Everyone inside the home escaped safely, but 2 dogs are missing. The 21-year-old suspect connected to the OnlyFans house in Bellevue is still in jail this morning. KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon explains.
Yesterday, Nikita Tukialo appeared in court trying to get his $5 million bail reduced to $100,000. The defense claimed that Tukialo had no money to pay that high bail. Prosecutors claim he made jailhouse phone calls in Russian telling his loved ones to empty his accounts. One of his alleged victims took to the stand.
I will never forget looking at someone I loved and hearing him tell me that if I ever spoke about what I've been through and if I ever opened my mouth, he would kill me because I knew too much.
The judge did not lower his bail. Tukialo is expected back in court on July 21st.
Now for your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. This traffic report is brought to you by Carpet Liquidators. It looks very light on this Wednesday morning. On northbound I-5, it's heavy just past the north end of Boeing Field and the West Seattle Bridge into downtown. It'll take you about 40 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. Olympia to Tacoma is under 40 minutes. There's a few brake lights as you get into South Tacoma. The Valley Freeway is very heavy right now at the north end. It'll take you about 40 minutes from end to end. Renton to Bellevue is under half an hour. Both directions of I-90 are still struggling right now. Why pay retail? Save big with the latest carpet and hardwood flooring selection at Carpet Liquidators. 7 locations. They got you covered at Carpet Liquidators. For your forecast, it is cloudy again this morning with a few sprinkles. Highs will be in the low 60s. Right now, it's about 56 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Of course, he's doing the World Cup match emceeing once again.
Yes, we have a game today.
We sure do. And I know that you went to a game. So coming up at 10 o'clock, you're going to share your experience. What happened? Was it worth the money? Because this one today, if some folks are thinking about still going, you can buy some tickets.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they're pretty affordable. from what I saw.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. But let's talk about how our state is getting older. And no, it's not just our imagination and not just because we feel exhausted. New Census Bureau data actually shows that from 2020 to 2025, Washington's 65 and older population grew by 200,000 people, which is a 16% jump. But at the same time, the number of kids under the age of 18 dropped by 55,000. So this is from our friend Gene Balk at the Seattle Times, his FYI column. Every single county in Washington saw its senior population grow, and in 26 of 39 counties, the number of children went down, with King County having the biggest raw shift, adding 48,000 older adults while losing 22,000 kids. The fastest aging happening outside the urban core or in places like Skamania, Kittitas, and Stevens counties. And of course, if you think, well, what's the big deal? I mean, we're talking about fewer kids means fewer school enrollments, possible school closures, fewer youth programs, maybe a smaller future workforce. So as you are reading this, obviously, I'm curious as what thoughts come to your mind.
Yeah, there were two things that came to mind. I'm writing them down so I don't forget, but because, getting grayer.
Tell me about it, sister.
But the first thing that came to my mind is why. And my first thought was how many people I know in their, 20s and 30s who aren't even getting married, much less having kids. That's number one. But then I thought about what's going on around us and the economy. And the last time we had a significant drop in the number of childbirths, it was the Great Recession of 2008. So it's so often that when recessions happen, we often don't realize until we're kind of in the middle of it. Mm-hmm. And so it makes me wonder, where we are as an economy, how people are feeling. And if you're feeling like I'm barely getting by, I can't afford to buy a home, I have my student loan debt that's still here and getting worse, then I'm not thinking about having children, getting married. So I wonder if this is an economy thing versus more of a culture selfish thing.
I absolutely think it is an economy thing. And on these topics, because I'm on the older end of the spectrum, I always love bringing in our younger generation, both Nick and Laura.
Here's looking at you.
Listen, I just started finding gray hairs too.
Oh, stop. Okay, but
I plucked them out. It's not real. It's not happening.
Embrace them. That's what I say. Embrace them as I get my hair colored. But but when you see a story like this, Laura, what are you thinking?
Oh gosh.
When you're seeing the numbers, it's like, population's getting older, and it's harder and harder to find younger kids.
It makes me worry about raising a family here in a few years. I don't want to be dramatic about it.
No,
but
be dramatic.
Will there be other kids, or I want to raise a family here? Will I be able to afford it? I think that's a big issue. Will there be other kids around to play with, to grow up in the same kind of city that I grew up in? Mm-hmm. Will public schools be funded the way that they should be? Mm-hmm. Where is our state budget emphasis going to go? Is it going to go towards long-term care, elder care, retirement homes, shift towards taking care of that population? Because we always knew that this was coming with boomers. I'm not surprised that it's happening in Washington. I'm sure it's happening in other states as well.
It is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Nick, any thoughts you want to share?
Well, I think it makes sense that there's an older generation in the state because there's a lot of money in this area, and where all the money goes to is to the previous generations. And to Laura's point, there's a lot of younger people who don't feel like families can be raised in this area, and that's why they sometimes move away a lot. And either that or they just kind of give up on the notion that they can raise a family around here. So it seems like there needs to be an incentive to support the younger generation around here in order to, revive that kind of demographic in the region.
Interesting. And I want to say we've talked about before on this show that the age of getting married has gone up, period.
Oh, absolutely.
And so you do that and you're delaying. Are you seeing that in your friend circles at all?
Oh, definitely. So I just turned 30, and I'm just now having friends getting married. Mm-hmm. Like the last 2 summers were the big wave of lots of weddings happening. And then even then, it's still a couple years out that those couples are planning to have kids. They want to enjoy being married. So we're looking at 30 to 35 as the start date for starting a family.
Which when so what's so interesting is when I had our second child, you know how it is. Like, so I was 35 and it was that point where they're, do you get an amnio and because you're considered an older pregnant woman. And I remember my doctor then said, "Oh, it's getting older. I mean, you're not that old for having your second child." Oh, I think that age has gone even up from then.
Yeah.
I mean, my youngest is 26. So, and I have seen that. I have seen that with my sons. I have a son who's also turning 30, and he wants to get married and have a family, but he also knows it's going to be further down the line.
Yeah. Someone said, they asked a question, do you think technology comes into play with the mid-30s not having kids? And maybe the fact that I definitely, in some ways, the technology that's been there to try to connect people, it's also the thing that I think keeps people from committing because they're like, oh, well, it didn't work out with you. I'll just swipe left and keep going. My experience with people I know, it hasn't been a great fit for them. The online thing has made it almost more complicated, almost in a similar way as teenagers. And you would think they have all these friends because they're on social media and they're talking to all these people, and yet they're lonelier than ever. Does that resonate at all?
Well,
have you seen it help?
Both. I'm weirdly good at meeting people in person. Like
unicorn.
Yeah. I've talked to people on planes, in airports, like at bars, that have turned into dates or getting numbers. I like it. Listeners might remember my Greek travel experience where I ran into a guy in the line to get into this tiny airport on a small island in Greece who ended up having grown up in the exact same neighborhood as me. In North Seattle.
No way. Which is my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Wait. Are you serious? That's like a romance novel.
Oh, totally. It was an absolute rom-com. We had a date. We had breakfast in Athens Yeah, it was amazing.
Well, never mind about talking about older and younger people. Let's talk about Laura's.
Well, okay.
Exactly.
Well, I was going to say, that said, my two most serious relationships I met on a dating app. So,
my oldest son is dating someone right now he met on an app. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think to Laura's point, where do you meet people today? I mean, it is harder and harder.
I think Laura's got the ticket.
Yes.
I think you got
if you're
open to it. Let me ask you this: do you not stay on your phone when you're out? Because I think it's hard to meet new people if you're, scrolling while you're waiting. Do you just put it away and just kind of look around and smile? What's your tactic?
Oh, I do. I'll do a little intro. I'll make a little joke. The one person I met on a different person I met on an airplane. We were in the very, very back row, middle seats, and I was like, premium. And that broke the ice. And then we started chatting. He was from New Zealand. He was coming back to New Zealand from a 3-week tour in America. I got to see all the pictures of his adventures and get travel tips for where I was heading.
I think you are intentionally open about meeting people.
Yeah.
I think that's the key.
Open-mindedness.
Oh, so
that's awesome.
Is it crazy that I want to know what happened to the date in Greece?
No. We've got Laura for 2 more hours. So we'll get it out of her. Okay, coming up next, we're going to talk about when do you call in sick? What's the appropriate time? And have things changed since COVID? We'll have that conversation coming up next on the Gee and Ursula Show.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
A political shakeup for Democrats that represent Seattle.
Traffic.
Right now, Auburn to Renton at 25 minutes. That's a good 10-minute delay.
Conversation.
3 people on the floor can't cover 20 aisles of plexiglass. They're doing their best. It just doesn't work.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
And the party begins.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at video only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
What if the retirement plan you think you have isn't enough? Marshall and Ellen thought they were prepared.
We certainly thought we had all documents. We'd done the wills and the power of attorney and all that stuff.
Then they attended a seminar with elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayich at LifePoint Law.
The bigger parts of how that all plays out was definitely helpful.
LifePoint Law showed them what they were missing.
There were things we never thought of that made total sense once they were brought up. To have things planned so that your family isn't left with a mess or having to deal with things that they don't know anything about.
So what's their advice?
People wait too long. Get started, figure out what you want to do. Don't wait too long. Make those decisions and look at all your options.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Federal Way on July 7th, Bremerton July 9th, Everett July 11th, or Bellevue July 18th. Space is limited. Sign up at lifepointlaw.com. lifepointlaw.com.
Hey, it's John Curley with my friend Bob Stelton. Hey, Bob, you had a hip issue just like me. You went to see Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine. What did he tell you?
You got a torn labrum, you got a frayed ligament, you've got arthritis developing. He said, this isn't going to fix everything, but it will go a long way. I was walking around at about an 8 pain level. I couldn't walk that far before the pain would kick in, and it was impacting my workouts and just really impacting my day-to-day stuff beyond jiu-jitsu.
So, just like me, Dr. Wagner does stem cell on your hip. How you feeling now?
I feel like I've gotten back to being who I was prior to the injuries, which was somebody who's very active, loves being out there outside when the weather's great, being on the motorcycle, sparring in jiu-jitsu, working out. I can do all of those things now.
So whether it's a shoulder, a hip, a wrist, knee, or elbow, before you choose surgery, see our friend, Dr. Wagner first. He'll tell you if stem cell is right for you. drmarkwagnermd.com. Make an appointment at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-881-8686. That's 800-881-8686. 800-881-8686.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in. Have you noticed a lot of people have been coughing and sneezing and clearing their throats? There's something going around.
It's going around. Exactly. You know, I brought up to the team about discussing this topic because this past weekend I had had a couple of huge events. My daughter had a big performance.
Yes.
And then I was invited to this dinner that was catered and had been paid for. And then I came down with an illness. And I was like, oh my gosh, what do? I really want to see my daughter sing. But I was like going to a dinner and I can't wear a mask. And then I was like, wait a minute. before COVID, I don't recall any of us ever discussing wearing a mask. And so I went through this process of getting a COVID and a flu test to make sure I didn't have either of those. And I was negative for all of them. But even then, I just felt bad. Like, how could I go and I had no fever, but I still had, a cough. I had sinus congestion.
So what did you end up doing?
I stayed home.
Wow.
I stayed home because I couldn't stomach the idea of what if I'm around older people, and older people then, their cold might be different than my cold. And I just thought before COVID, this was something I don't recall ever thinking about. Like, obviously, if I felt bad, I would stay home. But if I had a big event, I would just go to the event, right? You just suck it up. You just suck it up and you go to work.
Yes.
And I feel like somehow COVID changed me. And I was wondering if anyone else is grappling with this. And what are your parameters for when you go out? And do you wear, I was wearing a mask the whole time, even though I had no flu or COVID. I'm like, it's strange.
Well, but what I think, first of all, as you describe that, I think you're a very unselfish person. You are you're conscientious, and you said, you know what, even though your daughter's performing and you've got this big event that you could have just pushed through, you were thinking of others. And I think that's amazing. And not enough of us do that.
Well, I have to admit, there was a part of me that was like, okay, you're putting other people before seeing your daughter perform, even though, but yeah, at the end of the day, I just couldn't stomach it. I just couldn't do it. But yeah, so I'm curious from others, since COVID, have you changed?
The one thing since COVID that has changed is that we have a lot of tests at our home.
Yes.
Because every time I get it, because sadly, I have had COVID 3 times. And only one time was particularly bad, and each time has gotten a little bit better. But I came back from the cruise, and so we came back Saturday night, and Saturday night I was miserable. Yeah. And I thought, how lame-o, I'm going to have to call in sick.
After being on vacation. Right.
But it was really a matter of, not only do I feel crummy, but I'm going to get everybody, we share microphones. I'm going to be sounding like dirt. And thankfully, we have a company and we have bosses who are really cool about sick days. I will say that I think that they have been really, really accommodating when it comes to sick days. And even though you're imposing on others to have to jump in or work by themselves or whatever it is. But it has changed from, I think COVID taught us a lot.
Yeah.
But I think that's you and me. I think there are a lot of people who are like, no, I'm still not going to wear a mask. And, if people get sick, they get sick. But what you said is really important too. You never know. Like when someone is wearing a mask right now, I don't pass judgment. I assume either they have some kind of situation where they're especially vulnerable if they were to get sick, and they're doing what they can to try to prevent catching something.
Yeah.
And conversely, I would hope that someone would think the same if I'm wearing a mask. And I kind of regretted not wearing one when I was on the plane, because there were people with very chesty coughs all around me.
And I will, if it makes you feel any better, twice I wore a mask on a plane on a trip and came back with COVID. With actual COVID. And because what I learned, it really, depending on what you're dealing with, both people probably have to be wearing the mask for it to work.
Yes.
And it's so, don't beat yourself up about it.
Well, Lori in Auburn asked, so before COVID, would you have gone feeling sick to your daughter's event?
I think I would have.
Yeah.
I think I would have. I think somehow COVID kind of reinforced how things are spread. I know that sounds so elementary because, of course, I knew before COVID. But it really put a spotlight on, hey, when you're talking, you're sharing respiratory droplets. Just because I used to think, if I cough or sneeze on you. But no, just by talking with someone, So I just didn't know if I'm crazy or if other people are dealing with it post-COVID.
Okay, I got to ask you, because I'm wondering if this is a generational thing. What is your thought? Like, if you're sick, do you think twice about calling in sick?
Oh, I don't think twice at all. I call right in sick. Yeah. if I'm even a little bit sick.
Did you do that before COVID too?
No. Before
Okay.
COVID, I would work completely sick and then collapse on the weekends.
Right.
I would, like, Dayquil would keep me alive to do shows.
Exactly.
And then I would sleep Saturday and Sunday and then I'd be right back at it on Monday, whether I felt better or not.
Right.
And now, if I even sneeze, I'm texting Jacob, like, sorry.
So we're
It might be
scarred.
an
We're
allergy,
scarred.
but-
What did
okay,
COVID do?
okay, I'm not quite there, Laura. I'm not quite there. Well, and the other thing is, like, when do you come back? Because
Right.
I kind of was working somewhat sick on Wednesday, and I'm like, now I see a couple other people sick. I'm like, ooh, did I come back too early? Nick, just real quick.
It's usually a hit or miss for me. Like, if it depends on how I want to use my sick days, but like usually for the most part, if I'm feeling pretty bad, I'm out. But other times I want to use those mental health days. You know what I mean?
Was
so I
it
can
bef- was it-
salvage the sick days.
Was it different before COVID versus after?
It's been the same for me every time.
Yeah.
Paul in DuPont says people getting on planes sick are very selfish. Stay home. At the very least, can you do something to try to?
My thing is, I sometimes understand you can't change your flight
Yes.
if you're going to
Okay,
a
but then
wedding or
wear-
whatever.
then you wear a mask.
mask.
Yes.
Wear a mask.
Do something.
I was sick. And someone coughed on me for an entire international flight.
Yeah,
I
that
got
was me.
there and was sick.
No, I wasn't the one coughing. Someone was. Yes, I was
and
on
I
an
got and I
international
was
flight.
sick my first 4 days in the
Okay, still ahead. We've got more of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hartley Wilcox here. For over 100 years, my family has been committed to doing what's right. We believe food should be honest and wholesome. At Wilcox Farms, that starts with caring for our hens. They roam healthy pastures and enjoy a diet of organic grains and flaxseed. Why does that matter? Because what hens eat determines the quality of the eggs you eat. Our nature-first approach means vibrant golden yolks, richer flavor, and higher omega-3s for your family's health. When you choose Wilcox, you're not just buying eggs. You're supporting a farm that values animal welfare, sustainability, and community. It's real nutrition, real care, and real value. So next time you're at the egg case, look for Wilcox Family Farms eggs. Taste the difference that starts with what our hens eat. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Your medication for enlarged prostate is working. That's what you tell yourself. You're up 3 times a night instead of 5. The urgency is manageable. The stream's not great, but it's fine. That's the problem. Fine. Enlarged prostate, or BPH, doesn't pause because the medication takes the edge off. The prostate keeps growing. The bladder keeps working harder. And over time, those changes can be harder to reverse. But surgery? Not for you, right? Aquablation is not the surgery you're picturing. It's the only ultrasound-guided, robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Don't wait until things become unbearable. Find an Aquablation urologist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466. 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Authorities in Ohio say 16 children have been removed from a home in MacArthur, east of Cincinnati, describing the living conditions deplorable and squalid. Vinton County Prosecutor William Archer says 4 defendants were arraigned on 16 counts, including child endangerment, and ordered not to have contact with the victims.
We are asking for temporary custody to Job and Family Services. The children are safe. They have been placed. We have some other issues we're still dealing with for their safety, but they are currently in a good situation and are being protected.
The authorities say the children range in age from less than 1 year old to 18. Happening now in New York City, 2 people climbing to the top of the Empire State Building's spire, unfurling a banner with a message of love. It marks a breach in security at a time the NYPD is ramping up security ahead of the holidays. And extreme heat keeping its grip on the nation's midsection and East Coast. This is ABC News. A major shakeup to the federal student loan system affecting millions of borrowers takes effect today. Those changes mean some Americans, especially lower-income borrowers, will face higher monthly payments.
One of the biggest changes is that there's going to be fewer options going forward for how people can repay their loans. There are only going to be 2 options, the repayment assistance plan or the tiered standard repayment plan. Basically, those 2 options are replacing what was a bunch more repayment options that could get very confusing. And, a lot of borrowers were trying to figure out what was best for them.
ABC's Elizabeth Scholze. Nearly 43 million Americans have student loan debt worth about $1.7 trillion. The DOJ in 17 states reaching a settlement with 3 major egg producers accused of scheming to drive up prices. As part of the agreement, the companies will pay the states a total of $3.3 million and donate 53 million eggs to food banks and nonprofits. I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
We are just hours away from the 5th knockout round World Cup match coming to Seattle. But first, let's get a check on the roads with your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. This traffic report is brought to you by KIRO News Radio. Well, things are moving well on the major freeways right now. If you're heading from Alderwood to South Center, expect about 26 minutes on I-5 or at least 28 minutes on 405, so not bad. East and westbound traffic across both I-90 and SR 520 is flowing close to normal, but keep an eye out for summer construction zones and increased holiday traffic as we head into the 4th of July weekend. This traffic report brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Katrina Gashard. It's win or go home for Team USA tonight. The U.S. men's national team faces Bosnia and Herzegovina in a World Cup round of 32 knockout match at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. Former Sounders goalkeeper Marcus Henneman tells the Jason Rand Show on Seattle Red 770 AM he'll be watching closely.
It's massive for us, right? It's on home soil, so there's no excuses.
He played on 2 World Cup teams, by the way. The U.S. has not won a World Cup knockout game since 2002. Tonight's match starts at 5 o'clock. If the U.S. wins, they'll be back in Seattle on Monday. King County prosecutors have once again filed murder charges against the man accused in the 2020 ambush that led to the death of Bothell police officer Jonathan Shoup. Back in 2023, Henry Eugene Washington was found not competent to stand trial. KIRO 7 TV's Nia Bliss reports.
The King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office says it learned Washington was set to be released to a non-secure facility, and prosecutors filed charges against Washington for a 3rd time last Friday.
It's ultimately a question for state lawmakers, right? I mean, if the public is unsatisfied with our current system, state lawmakers are the one who have the power to change those laws.
In a Facebook post, Bothell PD thanked prosecutors for pursuing this case through the years and says the department will continue to serve the community in honor of Officer Shoup.
Contract talks between Boeing and its engineers and technical workers begins today in the Seattle area.
SPIA, the Union for Aerospace Professionals, represents about 17,000 employees with contracts expiring October 6th. Union leaders say they're optimistic, but they're expecting tough negotiations as both sides work toward new agreements on pay, benefits, and working conditions. The union says many workers are disillusioned by a culture of putting shareholders above quality and safety. According to the Seattle Times, Boeing says that the two sides have already found several areas of common interest and that the company is approaching the negotiation as an opportunity to improve its culture. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
If you're taking a Washington State ferry this holiday weekend, the ferry system expects about 400,000 riders over the 5-day 4th of July travel period, marking it one of the busiest weekends of the year. Travelers are encouraged to make reservations when available. Check wash.app before heading out and avoid peak sailing times if possible. Now to your KIRO News Radio weather. We got more clouds today and little peaks of sunshine, but mostly sprinkles this afternoon. Highs will be in the low 60s. Right now, it's about 56 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. He is emceeing the World Cup match that is happening this afternoon. Angela Poe Russell is in. Good morning.
Good morning, Ursula.
Thank you so much for being here. It's always a lot of fun. We've got Chef out today, but Laura Scott has, well, you're not doing double duty, but you have so generously agreed to produce our show today.
I'm so excited to be here.
And we're so much more high maintenance than Jake is. I'm just kidding.
We are.
You kind of are, but I love it. It's fun.
Exactly. We are. It's a more labor-intensive show, which is one of the reasons why Laura is here. So,
yes.
Okay, coming up at 10:30, AI is changing the way politicians run for office, but we were talking about it in our morning meeting, and I was thinking, this is kind of brilliant, actually. And that's not something I always say when it comes to
AI.
How we use AI. But in any case, we'll talk about that coming up. As always, we invite you to join us on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. That's 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
What's new at 10?
And we're just a couple of days away from launching into our holiday weekend. And while a lot of people are going to be driving to their destinations, a lot of people will also be flying somewhere. At least 19 million expected, according to the TSA. And that's tomorrow to Thursday being the expected busiest travel days. So we thought this would be a perfect time to bring in our friend from SeaTac Airport, otherwise known as SEA, Perry Cooper from the Port of Seattle. Good morning.
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Good. Hey, if anyone wants to watch Perry Cooper, you can watch him on YouTube right now. And you have picked a great spot because you're showing us what? What's behind you?
We are showing you actually right in the middle of the new Sea Concourse expansion. So if I hold my camera correctly here, see if I can get this correctly for everybody. But this just opened within the last 2 weeks.
Oh.
And this space is our brand new space that's in between the C and D concourses. And this is a huge opportunity for people to come and rest. We've got 11 different dining and retail spaces up here. You can hear the musician behind us in the background. The grandstand you see there is part of what we call our Tree at Sea. That has a kind of forest atmosphere to us here. Really made some brand new space out here that's a big benefit for our travelers as they come in here and relax in between flights, before or after flights.
Now, I have seen it, and it is gorgeous.
Okay,
I will say that.
I haven't seen it. So can you orient me? The last time I was there was a few months ago taking a flight, and there were all these drapes up and barriers. And so is this the same spot, or is this, or there are multiple ones happening at the same time?
Yeah, no, this is between C concourse. If you remember going down it before, it was a very narrow space. And as you're looking at the picture here, it would have been to your right. And this space is kind of something the public has never seen before, because this used to be basically an office space area that was only one floor where different TSA and other leaseholders had space. What we did is we took the same footprint, didn't eliminate any gates or anything like that, and added 4 floors up in the air. That's created more space here, dining and retail, sitting area, and then even up above me, even beyond, up here, we actually have a lookout at sea, we call it. And what that is it looks out on the airfield where you can see the aircraft as a viewer. So our av geeks love to go up there and hang out and see the airfield.
It's like old fashioned where you used to be able to watch planes go, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's very open and
pretty
airy
amazing.
because a lot of people are
we've
listening.
We've gotten a great response to it.
That's fantastic. Okay, and the reason why you're doing all these expansions is because we got a lot of people who are traveling. So what are you expecting over the holiday weekend?
We're expecting, July 4th isn't necessarily our busiest holiday that we have throughout the year, but we do expect to have a pretty busy day tomorrow. We may get in one of our top 10 busiest days of the year, of all time, actually. We're expecting a little over 200,000 people to go through the airport on Thursday. It drops down quite a bit from there over the weekend, but this is our summer travel period anyway. Throughout every day in the summer, from June through August, we average about 175,000 people going through the airport. So if you think about how large that is, if that was a city, we would be like the 4th largest city in the state at about those levels.
Okay, so for those who are having to engage with the airport this weekend, I know I have a daughter coming in and we'll be going out. What tips do you have? Any things we should keep in mind?
Number one, it's still the same thing. We want you to be here early, plan ahead, know where you're going to go, whether it's to park if you're arriving by someone dropping you off, or going light rail or a shuttle if you're going to a pickup off-site, or if you're going into the garage. Be sure you give yourself enough time to get into the terminal. If you've already got your ticket boarding pass printed out before, that's great. Otherwise, keep in mind, if you need to check in bags, it's going to take you that time to get through the airline ticket counter. Our checkpoints have been doing really, really well. So we want people to realize that about 93% of our traffic is going through in under 30 minutes, and even a little bit less than that, under 20 minutes throughout the entire year. That's because we got a brand new checkpoint 1. That's on the lower level on the far south end. And then we've redone checkpoint 6 in the north end in the Alaska ticketing area. So our checkpoints have been really terrific, and kudos to all of our TSA staff that's been continuing to work with us. We saw that through even the government shutdown earlier in this year, that they've done a super job for getting people through. But it's always better to plan a little bit more time, so then you get through checkpoint and you can come and see our C concourse.
Yeah, exactly.
And all
Get
the
there
new
early.
things inside post security.
Yeah, Perry, that was what I wanted to hear. The fact that 93% of folks are getting through in under 30 minutes is pretty cool. But yeah, the extra time to check out the new C concourse, amazing. Anything else, because while we have you here, anything else up your sleeve at SeaTac that we should know about? Anything else being unveiled in the coming months? Anything else you're working on that might be interesting for us to know?
Well, the big celebration, quite honestly, is because of World Cup starting. We actually got our big 3 upgrade SEA projects done ahead of the World Cup, which is the whole goal. That includes C concourse. That includes the upgrade to the roadways as you come into the terminal. We've added 2 new lanes to make it easier for people, especially on the lower arrivals drive. You can go straight into the airport garage as well, too, in one of those new lanes. And then also, as we mentioned, the checkpoint 6, what we call the north end of the terminal there with Alaska, the Gateway project, that's complete as well, too. The next big thing for construction, right now we're actually on hold with construction through World Cup till we get through that period. Our next big thing is going to be updating the S concourse. That's one of our oldest facilities now. That's going to be a project that's going to get started in some initial construction the end of this year. And it's probably going to take us about 4 to 6 years to finally get that one completely done.
Okay, so Perry, first of all, congratulations, because I know you've come on the show many times when we've been complaining about, well, mostly G has been complaining about this, that, or the other thing.
Yeah, where is he? To give me that tough question.
He's going to be emceeing the World Cup match today. But I want to ask just if some of these things still hold true. Is it still worth it to do TSA pre-check? Because sometimes I see the line that is not TSA pre-check about the same as TSA pre-check. This is what I've seen in the last couple of times I've traveled.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I mean, number one, again, it's our TSA teams that have been doing a great job. They continue to be here despite some of the struggles they've gone through with some of the government funding situations. We've done really, really well because of the staff that's supported us and what we've put together ahead to help them out as well, too. With the new checkpoints, we still want you to get here early, but it is not unusual for you to see that the regular line may be as short, if not a little bit shorter than the pre-check line.
Yes.
Pre-check also helps you in other airports, though, as well, too. So keep in mind, it's a great option, even if you're not just coming through SEA, but when you're on your way back from another airport, that may be a better option for you in a pre-check line there.
Okay. Time saver. Are more people using
Spot
time
saver?
saver? Yeah, exactly. The spot
Spot saver?
Yeah, the spot saver.
Yeah.
Is that still worth doing?
Spot saver is a great option as well, too. The situation there is almost like pre-check, like you mentioned, because what we're seeing is a lot of people that are signing up for spot saver, and then they actually don't use it because they see the regular general line is this short or shorter than what they're looking for spot saver as well, too. In fact, in a couple of our busy peak periods here during the World Cup, we're actually restricting the use of spot saver because we'd rather have that extra lane used for the general line to get more people through there than it is for spot saver, because the times are just, there's not a huge difference for them. But if you want to go ahead and make that reservation, if you need it, you can still use it. If not, you can go ahead and go to the general line.
Okay, final one. We used to say, do the opposite. Go to the arrival when you're, and the departure when you're, picking up, and arrival when you're,
opposite of whatever you need because of the traffic.
Yes.
Because of the traffic.
Does that still apply?
Still applies. In fact, it's a great thought for a lot of airports around the country is to think opposite. If you're dropping off, go to the departure area. If you're picking up, go to the departure area. If you're dropping off, drop off on the arrivals lane. So we have expanded those lanes on the lower drive, so that makes it easier. But there's still the opportunity for you to avoid traffic that's at those busy peak periods. So keep an eye on, basically the bottom line is you're approaching the drives, pick whichever upper drive or lower drive looks to be the fewest cars in front of you if you're driving.
And then there's that.
Perry, we always appreciate your time. Thank you. And thank you for the little tour there.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Appreciate it.
Have
a great
time. I look forward to seeing what's going on in the C concourse.
Yes, and then all the new food options. Hey, I want to talk about this because Washington's new long-term care program is now officially live, and Governor Ferguson announced the launch of WaCares yesterday, calling it the first program of its kind in the country.
We're here, of course, to celebrate the beginning of a first-in-the-nation program.
And here's what it actually does. Eligible workers can get up to $36,500 over their lifetime to help pay for long-term care, and that can include an in-home caregiver, medical equipment, transportation to doctor's appointments, home-delivered meals, or if you have to change your home so someone can live there safely, that qualifies. But you have to pay into the program, and also workers have to show they need help with at least 3 daily activities like bathing, eating, or managing medications. And Christina Key spoke at this press conference after her mom had a stroke. She says she quit her tech job to become a full-time caregiver, and then her partner had a stroke as well.
I cared for my mother. I also cared for my partner. And literally out of nowhere, he had a seizure and he had a stroke. And we didn't have any money in savings.
So this program, in case people aren't aware, it's paid for through a payroll tax of 0.58%. So that's 58 cents for every $100 you earn. There are critics, including the Washington Policy Center, who say it's still a mandatory paycheck cut for a benefit that some people may never use.
But it's been coming out of our paychecks since 2023. Right?
Yes.
Since 2023. And the
It's live
employer,
now.
does the employer pay it? I want to say either way, it's shared. It comes out of our paychecks.
Yes.
It's one of those things we talked about at the time.
Yes.
And for some, it felt like a small blip, and others, it was like, what in the world,
Well, and I'll admit I was one of those that opted out, even though just because
that's right. You had the option to.
Yes, and Governor Ferguson was asked by Como News about how many people are opting out of it.
One of the criticisms I'm hearing is that there are some people who might want to opt out.
You're always looking at, hey, how can it be improved? You learn from experience. You go through it. What do we want to change? How can we improve this?
And one of the issues, and of course, I was in the midst of helping my parents. And when we're talking about $36,500, I know for a fact that
doesn't last
wiped
long.
out.
Yeah.
If you have 2 months of skilled living care, for example, it can be. So I'm curious. The benefits from Walk Cares can cover, again, in-home caregivers, retrofitting a home for safety, that kind of thing, which is great. But I'm curious where you are with that.
Yeah, I think it's a great program and something that's needed because you just heard that one woman say, like, we didn't have savings. So then what do people do?
Yes.
I mean, there's a reason we have things like Social Security and, they are safety nets. And I feel like I do know that there are other states who take better care of elderly people, who take better care of folks with
Yes, long-term care. Yes, because again, $36,500 is not going to go a long way.
Right.
But it's better than nothing, I suppose. When you're in a critical need.
Yeah. And if I'm being transparent, I'm still trying to understand how all this works. Remember when we first had the family leave come out in the state of Washington, everyone kind of had to process, okay, how is this working? What does it look like? So I love that they're providing the real life examples. I was studying how it works here. And yeah, you have to have at least 3 of, I think, 6 or 7 needs that they point out.
Yes.
The thing I was a little confused about is it sounds like they said it doesn't, like you don't have to do any extra paperwork. It's just paid. So it made it sound like you're using one of their providers. It's a provider that's tapped into their network. So I don't know how much of a choice you will have in terms of, you'll have a choice within, I think, care providers who have opted in to be part of the state program, as I understand it.
And Laura, I know that you mentioned in a note that a lot of people,
opted out. Yeah, 3 years ago. So, this is just the reality of being someone who grew up in Seattle. Most of my friends are transplants. They moved here for tech jobs from other states. And that was all they were talking about 3 years ago was how do we opt out before this deadline? Because they're not sure if they're going to retire here, if they would ever use a benefit like this. But
exactly.
I do think that the idea for this program was depending on tech worker salaries paying into it.
You're right.
So
exactly.
Is it going to be fully funded by the time?
And that is the other big issue
age?
that I have with it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so let me, and I just want to clarify because it's really important for me to understand it, because on one part of the website I read something else, but it says here on the official state website, all you have to do is find a covered provider. So again, covered, it needs to be in a certain network, approve the authorizations, and the rest of the process will be taken care of, and you'll be able to see your benefit balance. I think this is a great step in a direction, but to Laura's point, have we set the system up to fail if so many people can opt out? Mm-hmm. But we can modify. Yeah. I think this is stuff. I think having the social safety nets are good.
I do. I just don't know if this was the right avenue for this. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
There was a little Spike O'Neill moment there. Do you remember when he fell?
No, what happened?
Fell over.
There's a hole in the wall over there from when Spike had an extremely,
I think it was a
viral
viral
for your
moment.
Chair, right? And then the chair moved.
Yes.
That's exactly what happened to Spike.
That was just a dance move, Laura. What do you mean?
Oh, no, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We didn't see it. Hey, coming up at 10:30, I want to call an audible because I want to feel the World Cup energy in Seattle.
Okay.
Because this may be your best shot if you haven't felt it, because there is a match today and there are chances of you getting a ticket. And then I want to hear about your experience.
Yeah, I can talk about it now. Here's what I would say. If you have a chance to get a ticket to any World Cup game here,
yes.
I would go.
Okay.
There is something about the energy of being in there and seeing people from different countries come together and play each other.
Well, we're going to talk about that coming up at 10:30.
Okay.
We're going to do that. Okay, stay with us.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
State Senator Jamie Peterson drafted one of the state's most progressive taxes to date, the income tax on millionaires.
Engaging conversation.
We pay teachers the fourth highest of any state in the country.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
The Seahawks! They're bringing it home again!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Clutter happens. Let Closets by Design save the day. For a limited time, get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
Point.
Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace.
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog, but they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repairs, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Have you ever really thought about what happens when you can no longer care for yourself?
If you're not prepared, it's like they just ship you off to a nursing home and you may not even have considered all the options that are available to you.
After retiring, Vic attended a free seminar with elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayach at LifePoint Law, and it changed the way he planned for his future.
He talked about not running out of money, not being a burden to your family. Those are two kind of basic principles that are obviously important.
So what's Vic's advice?
You have to have a plan. You need a running start. You need to be able to understand the system. I would encourage people to consider getting educated. Rajiv has a lot of knowledge, a lot of practical experience that can be helpful.
Register for a free LifePoint Law Retirement Planning Seminar in Federal Way on July 7th, Bremerton July 9th, Everett July 11th, or Bellevue July 18th. Space is limited. Sign up at lifepointlaw.com. lifepointlaw.com.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Puyallup Tribe's Firecracker Alley is now open. 3509 72nd Street East in Tacoma. Stock up now for the 4th at Puyallup Tribe's Firecracker Alley. Open now through July 4th. With over 100 fireworks stands and a variety of food and beverage options, you're sure to get your 4th of July off to a great start at Firecracker Alley. Don't miss the free fireworks show on June 30th. Learn more at puyalluptribe-nsn.gov. That's puyalluptribe-nsn.gov.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case? Skyrizi Risankizumab Risa can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Control is everything to me.
Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Spike O'Neill here. If your loved one's caregiver is planning a vacation or just needs a break, want to consider Aegis Living Respite Care, a short-term stay that provides 24/7 expert care, Aegis Living amenities, and peace of mind for you and your family. Go to aegisliving.com/spike to schedule a visit today.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. It's unclear whether Iran is willing to restart talks with the U.S. Before leaving for North Dakota, President Trump downplayed reports that he's thinking of restarting military action.
Well, I think they've come a long way. We hit them very hard last week. I think they're fine. I think we're going to... It's the denuclearization of Iran.
Over the weekend, Iran and the U.S. traded strikes in the region. The high-stakes World Cup match between Belgium and Senegal will take place at Seattle Stadium this afternoon. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin is outside Seattle Stadium.
Today, the Belgians will pregame at Victory Hall starting at 8. Then they'll march to the match at 11. Senegal doesn't currently have any official pre-parties or marches scheduled. But if you would like to go to a party, you can hit Westlake Park, Pier 62, Mural Amphitheater, Pacific Place, Victory Hall, or Occidental Park. All of those are solid options. The game starts at 1 o'clock today, but make sure that you come way earlier than that because these bars are going to open at 8. These watch parties are opening early. So if you want to be able to get in, you definitely have to get here a little early.
Washington State Patrol is asking for help after a drive-by shooting on SR 509 in King County. Trooper Rick Johnson says on Monday around 6 p.m., a Dodge Ram was hit by gunfire near Cloverdale. The shots came from the rear passenger window of a red Jeep.
We believe someone had to have seen this. I mean, that time of day on 509, there's other vehicles.
The driver was not hurt. There is a picture of the Jeep at mynorthwest.com. If you have any information, contact troopers. A new parasite is making the Pacific Northwest its new home.
It's called the fox tapeworm because it's commonly carried by foxes and coyotes. Researchers at Washington State University detected it there last month after testing a dead fox found on campus. That followed a study in March finding the parasite in coyotes across the Puget Sound area. Researchers say you've got to be careful here because it can be passed to dogs, cats, and in rare instances, humans too. Pet owners should make sure your dog isn't coming into contact with any rodents or wildlife.
That was KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon reporting. West Nile virus has been detected in mosquitoes in Grant County. Health officials say the positive samples were found in the Moses Lake area during routine testing last month. Most people will not get sick, but in rare cases, the virus can cause serious neurological illness. They're encouraging residents to protect themselves by wearing long sleeves, using EPA-approved repellent, and eliminating standing water around homes where mosquitoes can breed. Now to your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. This traffic report is brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio app. Right now on the roads, Federal Way to Seattle will take you about 40 minutes. Olympia-Tacoma is still under 40 minutes right now. There's a few brake lights. Valley Freeway is a little heavy on the north end. It'll take you about 40 minutes still from end to end. Renton to Bellevue is about 32 minutes right now. And text app to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO Newsradio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. For your forecast, cloudy again today. Highs will be in the mid-60s. Right now, it's about 56 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Angela Poe Russell is filling in for Gee today. Hey, how's it going, Angela?
I'm going fine. It's going really well. Are we going to talk about the World Cup?
Yeah, we are going to be talking about the World Cup because, first of all, there is a match today. And if you want to feel that energy, you may actually have a chance to get a ticket. This might be your best shot. Belgium plays Senegal today, knockout round at Lumen Field, Seattle Stadium. And while tickets are not exactly cheap, they are a lot cheaper than what is coming next.
How much are they running now?
Okay, so this was as of yesterday morning. FIFA's resale tickets started around $250.
Okay.
And then last minute, FIFA tickets were going for about $520.
Okay.
And Laura, maybe you can check for me right now, see if what it looks like today, because maybe it's changing today.
Yeah,
but,
this is not these for some of us is a once in a lifetime occurrence.
Yes, it would
depending on
definitely
our
be that.
age.
Yes,
that is not a bad price. This is not a Super Bowl price. We know we talked about the Super Bowl because we recently had the Seahawks in the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
This price sounds perfectly reasonable for considering the
exactly
of the event.
Exactly, and how big an event it is. But I also want to point out that Seattle's final match is on July 6th. So we've got today and then July 6th. And if the U.S. wins tonight, they end up playing here. Right now already, the cheapest seats are about $1,700 with many closer to $2,000. So again, it's going to be astronomical next week, but today may be the day that you can actually get in. And you just went to was that your first match?
It was my first match. And I have to confess, I only went because my husband, he got tickets from a friend. And he really wanted to go. And I was like, okay, let me because I'm not big into crowds, but I was like, okay, let me go and be with him and enjoy this experience.
Yes.
And then I was so glad that I went. There was something about the pageantry. It was the international feel of it, seeing people from different cultures, seeing everyone so happy, seeing Seattle so clean around the stadium and so shiny and new. But the moment that stood out for me was when each country's flag came out of their different sides and they came together, and then hearing their national anthems.
Yes.
It was just what a beautiful cultural experience.
Yes.
And in that moment, I was so glad that I was there. And I thought, if someone can get to one of these and for a couple $100 and you can do it, do it.
So I haven't been, and I probably won't go. But
Why?
I know, because today would have to be the day that I would go.
You should just
and
get a wild hair and go.
I'm kind of dealing with a few things, so it's probably not going to happen.
I did check, so it's right now it's about $500.
Oh,
per
it did go up.
ticket.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it did go up. It did go up. Now you could argue, well, $500 may still be worth it, but here's the thing: if you cannot afford a $500 ticket, what a lot of people can't, or maybe you don't even want to just go to the game, I highly, highly, highly recommend just hanging out around the game.
Okay.
Around the stadium.
Totally. But
I just would say, because I did do that. I did that last week.
How was that?
And I didn't go to the waterfront, which I wish I had, because I heard that is spectacular.
It's not too late.
But I know. You're trying to get me to go back out there. But I did go to Westlake Center, where they had a viewing party out there. They had some ping pong tables out there, and it was a beautiful sunny day. It wasn't very crowded there. Mm-hmm. But once you start walking, I actually took a Metro bus down to Pioneer Square. The bus was easy, clean, all good. And people do it every day. So someone texted and said, people ride the bus every day. I know, but I don't. So it was fun for me to see, hey, this is kind of cool. My husband rides it all the time.
Yeah.
And then I get to Pioneer Square, and what you said about what you experienced in the stadium, all the different cultures and people just waving their flags and being all excited about this sport. and just the vibe. There were volunteers everywhere. There were pop-up stands and food places, and it's just
so
the
fun.
feeling was
Just
so cool.
the energy.
And I would stop. Of course, I stopped and talked to, if people look like they're out of town or clearly out of town, or foreigners, or and just I kept asking, so what do you think? How are you feeling about, what's it been like in the city? And without exception, they love being here.
Yeah. No, listen, after we went to the game, we went to Anthony's, the waterfront restaurant. And you just, we live in the city, and so often we don't go down there. And it was just extraordinary sitting outside on the water. And I have to brag a little bit on my husband, because both times we found parking for the game too. Oh yeah. See, my husband is a genius. He's from Seattle and he knows all the spots. So he found parking and we walked to the game, and it was not more than a quarter of a mile.
See, that's great. But you know what has happened though, and this is the sad part. And when we talked to Jillian Raftery is our reporter who's going to be out and about. I mean, there are businesses that are just booming because of the World Cup. But as we said, like in the international district, they're kind of hurting.
Yes,
Why?
I heard that.
Because a lot of office workers are not coming into work right now. They've been scared into not coming.
Yeah.
And the parking situation really hasn't been that bad.
No, we were actually able to leave downtown, then go back downtown and park, and then go to Anthony's.
Yes.
I mean, so it wasn't that difficult at all.
Yes.
And can I make one other suggestion?
Yes.
I want to throw out one other thing. Do I have time?
Of course, yes.
Okay. So you were talking about the tickets for this experience.
Yes.
And you said, okay, if you can afford it, do it. If you can't, then go enjoy the experience.
Just enjoy
yes,
the experience.
I agree. But one thing I struggle with are one-time events that you can't get back and you don't have the money. And do you charge it? Because I'm not saying.
Good question. I guess it depends.
You know what I mean? Like, because
for some people, charging it is.
I have one thing I regret. I have one thing I regret not doing with my kids years ago. I didn't have the money and I didn't do it.
Yes.
And I can't get that. I can't get that back.
I know. I know. I know. So text us. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line 888-973-5476 888-973 KIRO. Did anyone just go because you're like, I'm not going to experience, I don't care about soccer, but I'm not going to have a chance to experience this again.
Yeah, depending on how old you are. If you're Laura's age, I mean, then you have some other World Cup seeing you,
Well, I hope we have World Cup seeing
Well,
us.
we do.
It's just 4 years, but not here in
Back to
Seattle.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Like
Yes.
this could be the only time in my lifetime it's in the city. And I have regrets about not going to the Olympics when it was up in Vancouver.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it couldn't have
True.
been closer.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's so expensive, and you think about the crowds and the
Okay.
practicality, and then
That's true.
And then you
so if
regret
those
it.
of you are on the fence, do it. Do it. Okay, still ahead.
Don't you were that?
Yeah, I know.
Wilma was like, charge it.
Yeah. Okay. Still ahead. We do scenarios, but we're going to do something a little bit different because I have an Ask Ursula question.
Ooh.
One of our listeners sent a letter to me and was saying that after 30 years of marriage and now getting a divorce, having children with her now ex, she is hurt that the in-laws have stopped any contact with her. And she's wondering if she's making too big of a deal of it. And so I want y'all, once again, to weigh in on this, and then I'll share how I answered her question. We'll have that next on the Gee and Ursula Show.
KIRO News Radio, where you hear the John Curley Show, afternoons 2 to 7.
All they care about is whether they make money. You could see it. When Trump was out of office, they lost money. Trump comes back in office, they make money. Fox stock goes up, MSNBC goes down, CNN loses viewers, they lose money, everybody's unhappy. They need people to fight.
The John Curley Show. Subscribe to KIRO News Radio on YouTube and watch live or later.
Hey there, Dawn Riding with Olympic Hot Tub. Make this the summer you start to relax and feel better right in your own home. During our All-American Soak, Swim, and Sauna event, enjoy liberating savings on a saltwater hot tub, swim spa, or sauna with up to 3 years to pay for it interest-free. A soak or swim under the stars? A sauna after a long day. Celebrate feeling better today. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Dr. Mark Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, including mine, at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine. And we've interviewed over 100 of Dr. Wagner's patients, and we hear the same things. It changed my life. I'm back to doing the activities I love without pain. It really works. It's remarkable.
We love helping people get back to living life to the fullest and doing the things they enjoy most.
They also must really enjoy not having the pain and recovery time with surgery.
Stem cell therapy is a 60-minute, non-surgical, minimally invasive procedure to eliminate pain, regenerate cartilage, treat tendon and ligament tears, osteoarthritis, and chronic tendonitis.
And you only use the patient's own stem cells.
That's right, their body's own stem cells.
So whether it's a hip like me, an elbow, shoulder, or knee.
Don't forget ankles, wrists, and thumbs.
Yep, those patients too. Before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD first. Learn more at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Will?
When I was 50, my whole life fell apart. I lost my job, I lost my wife, I lost the house, I lost pretty much everything except for my life. When the IRS came calling, I just didn't have it in me. I felt like Wile E. Coyote, just waiting for that IRS anvil to drop.
Then Will found tax relief advocates.
I heard their advertisement on the radio, I wrote down the number, and I made the call that changed everything. The IRS gave me a bill for $40,000. Tax Relief Advocates got that down to $3,200. I've paid 9 cents on the dollar. Now that's a great deal in anybody's book.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Will did and call TRA for a consultation.
But for me, the real win is I got my life back.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-488-4194. 800-488-4194. That's 800-488-4194.
Have something to say? We'd love to hear it. Text KIRO News Radio at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Hi, I'm Marla at Sky Nursery with a heads up that gardening in July has its challenges. Seattle summer drought can cause plants to droop in just a matter of hours, and rabbits and aphids can get a little out of hand in your garden, especially if you have any travel plans this summer. That's where an experienced Sky gardener can make a difference with down-to-earth and sustainable solutions to all manner of gardening quagmires. After all, you deserve to enjoy a beautiful, thriving summer garden without having to learn the hard way first. We can help. Head to skynursery.com.
You could sleep through the night without thinking twice. You could take a seat in the middle of the theater. You could drive without worry of where the next restroom is. You used to say yes, and somewhere along the way, you stopped. Not because of one big moment, because of 100 small ones. A little more urgency, one more trip to the bathroom at 2 a.m., one more mental note about where the restroom is. It happened slowly enough that it just became you. But it's not you. It's enlarged prostate, and there's a treatment called aquablation therapy, the only ultrasound-guided robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Find an aquablation therapist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466, 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
Hartley here from Wilcox Farms. For over 100 years, we've cared for hens with healthy pastures and organic grains. That's why our eggs are nutritious and flavorful. Next time you shop, choose Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
It is 10:47, and you are listening to the Gee and Ursula Show. And goodness gracious, I just realized that I don't even have my own Ask Ursula question right in front of me. So I'm going to go off of my memory as best as I can. And the letter came from a friend actually a listener, not a friend, a listener who was saying that she had been married for several decades and had recently gotten in a divorce. And so after years and years of having a great relationship with her in-laws, she was hurt that when she had a birthday, she didn't get a card or any kind of acknowledgement. I mean, all relationship with the in-laws who she had been close to for all those 30 years and are the grandparents of her children who are now adults, she didn't get any kind of acknowledgement. And she said that her daughter, who has a birthday around the same time as she does, did get a card and acknowledgement. And
that's good.
Yeah, exactly. And it kind of stung for her. And she was wondering, like, is this normal? I mean, that's obviously something very new. She didn't think that a breakup with her longtime husband would also mean a breakup with
the family
and the whole family and
after
losing that side of
years.
the family after 30 years and having kids together and still having those as
all
the grandparents.
Holidays you spend all the time.
Exactly. And so the question, I guess, is it natural to expect the in-laws to still have that kind of relationship? Is she making too big of a deal of it, or is this part of the bargain? You know, both of you decided that the marriage is over, and so you end up losing.
Yeah. Well, before you answer, I had a follow-up question.
Yes.
When you have these Ask Ursulas, do you sometimes send follow-up questions, or do you just, okay.
Yes, I
I'm
have
curious.
to, because a lot of times I don't have enough information.
Yeah.
And in this case, I didn't have enough information, so I had to ask additional information, and that's generally the case. But before you answer, I just want to remind everybody, if you have a question, and I want to hear from more of you, I love connecting with folks. It's Ask Ursula on mynorthwest.com/Ask Ursula. There is a form there that you can fill out.
Okay, so go to mynorthwest.com/Ask Ursula.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so I do a video response, and I also do a written response that you can read on mynorthwest.com.
There's also, if you just want to text right now to 888-973-5476, just text Ask Ursula, and we'll send you a link right to that page.
Oh,
Perfect.
that's even
Yes.
easier.
Easy.
So
Yeah.
just text Ask
Super
Ursula
easy.
to our
Yes.
text line. That's great.
Yes.
Because I think you are I'm not just saying this because you're my colleague and friend. I really think you give great advice.
Oh, thank you.
And in this case, I'm just wondering, how amicable was the divorce, if he initiated or she initiated? Because I think all of that matters in terms of how the family treats you.
So I think it was relatively amicable. They have a lot of still mutual friends, but it was something that, I mean, obviously very painful. But up until the divorce, they had a very good relationship together, the in-laws and this listener.
Interesting. Okay, so
Yeah,
am I weighing
yes,
in?
I want you to weigh in. Yes.
I think it for me, it would be jarring to have a 30-year relationship with a family and to all of a sudden be cut off. I think you can never expect people to do it when there are divorces, because some people see divorce as like it just happened. But at the end of the day, I think acknowledge the hurt and also acknowledge where you are. You know, there's a part of me that wonders, was there something that an action that you took that maybe they're holding against you? Because it seems odd to me that you would have a relationship for that long and they wouldn't acknowledge your birthday after all those years. It's weird.
I think that you make some great points, Angela. The other thing that I would suggest, and what I did suggest, was maybe you come to them and say, you know, we are divorced now, but this divorce, you know, I still love you very much. The relationship is different today. I mean, I still love and care about your son, but we are not married. But I still want to have, you know, a kind of relationship with you because you are also the grandparents of children we all love.
Yes.
And so not everybody should suffer from that. And maybe they're making assumptions about you that you don't want to be, you know, and it's just at least have that conversation.
So you know, no, I'm struck because it's beautiful advice, like I said, because having that direct conversation, to your point, I didn't even consider that they may be thinking she doesn't want to hear from them. And so by opening that door, at least you know.
Yes.
And I think that's beautiful.
Yes.
Once again, applause.
Well, but and it could be that it's changed forever. I mean, that's the unfortunate thing about getting a divorce is it's not going to be the same, but maybe there's something that you can mutually agree upon in terms of what kind of relationship we can have post-divorce.
What does it look
that's
like?
going to benefit for everybody because it's so painful. Right?
Yeah. I think that's great advice. I second it. Text Ask Ursula.
Yes, please. And I only say that because I am the worst promoter of myself. And so this column is only going to exist if I don't want to make up problems. And if it's, it doesn't have to be necessarily a problem. It could be a challenge at work. I was a manager for many, many years. So if you have a work-related question or you've got some kind of family drama, I know all about family drama, so you can hit me up with that. And I'm just someone who can listen. And this is actually so meaningful for me when I get a chance to do this. So hit me up if you've got something.
I love it.
But Nick, before we get out, you want to weigh in?
I think divorces are always messy, and it seems like this one could have been more on the worse end than being more cordial. But I wouldn't go as far to restrict any cards or wishes of a happy birthday, holidays, or any festivities for that matter. So the family, to me, should reconsider. And with that being said, the former spouse should still keep their eyes out for the card in the mail because they should change their mind about all this drama going on. So, yeah, look out for the card at the end of the day, and even if you don't get it, just maybe you give them a call or just some sort of notion.
Yes.
People are weighing in about it, too.
Yes, they are. Extend the olive branch. And by the way, as you weigh in, we're going to try something new with this Ask Ursula feature, too. I'm going to include some listeners' comments.
I love that.
Yes, because I want you, because y'all have a lot of great advice as well. So thank you. Layla says, give it the time, everything will heal. But I think, and then Dawn from Queen Anne says, that happened to my sister. She was married for 45 years and her in-laws totally cut her off. It hurt her badly, but Dawn says, really nothing you can do about it. Love Dawn. I will say, at least give it a shot. Then you know that you have tried, and if they still choose not to, then you've given it your all.
Yeah, at least you know. That's perfect.
Exactly.
Perfect advice. Thank you.
More of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up.
Get ready to rock. It's Hoobastank, delivering their high-energy sounds at Muckleshoot Casino Resort on Friday, July 31st at 8 p.m. Along with Eve 6. It's two incredible bands on one unforgettable night. Hoobastank and Eve 6 at Muckleshoot Casino Resort on July 31st. Get your tickets now at muckleshootcasino.com.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
Staples Easy Deal Days are here. Score up to 50% off more than 1,000 products in-store and online. It all ends July 4th. Staples. That was easy.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo.
Your best source for local news.
Newly released police video shows the arrest of a 17-year-old.
KIRO Newsradio.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
What if the retirement plan you think you have isn't enough? Marshall and Ellen thought they were prepared.
We certainly thought we had all documents. We'd done the wills and the power of attorney and all that stuff.
Then they attended a seminar with elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayich at LifePoint Law.
The bigger parts of how that all plays out was definitely helpful.
LifePoint Law showed them what they were missing.
There were things we never thought of that made total sense once they were brought up. To have things planned so that your family isn't left with a mess or having to deal with things that they don't know anything about.
So what's their advice?
People wait too long. Get started, figure out what you want to do. Don't wait too long. Make those decisions and look at all your options.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Federal Way on July 7th, Bremerton July 9th, Everett July 11th, or Bellevue July 18th. Space is limited. Sign up at lifepointlaw.com. lifepointlaw.com. Are you looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, ranging from the low 500s to the high 1 millions, D.R. Horton has the right home at the best value for you. Your new home is within reach, so what are you waiting for? Learn more about the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. Visit drhorton.com and schedule a tour today. D.R. Horton, America's builder. An equal housing opportunity builder.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In New York City, a dangerous stunt played out atop the Empire State Building and ended with both climbers in police custody. ABC's Aaron Katersky has more.
They climbed down for about 250 feet. The NYPD officers were there waiting, took these two individuals into custody after they climbed to the very top of the Empire State Building spire, unfurled a banner, then climbed to a platform. One proposed to the other, and the two appeared to embrace in what is one illegal stunt. On top of everything else, masks and costumes are not allowed on the Empire State Building observation decks.
President Trump in North Dakota making the first flight on his new Air Force One plane gifted by Qatar. The president will speak at the opening ceremony of the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library. Dangerous heat alerts stretching across 16 states. New York City facing what could be the hottest heat index on record since 2010 this week. This is ABC News. Today marks 1 week since Venezuela's devastating earthquakes. Nearly 2,000 people confirmed dead. One glimmer of hope, the rescue of a 3-year-old trapped in the rubble for 6 days. A California farmer giving away over 125,000 pounds of nectarines to anyone who can show up and pick them.
On a small orchard in Reedley, California, third-generation farmer Cesar Mora is calling on anybody who wants his nectarines to show up and pick what they want.
And I should be picking them right now, but I'm not.
Mora is being sued by a large agricultural company for allegedly breaking his contract with them and selling his nectarines to a competing company. He says he had to do it.
I was never able to get a return or make any money, really. I was farming at a cost.
He's been ordered to stop selling his nectarines, so now he's telling anybody who wants them to show up and take his crop before it goes bad. This week, thousands of people have shown up to pick nectarines.
ABC's Alex Stone reporting. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
The World Cup's knockout round kicks off in Seattle today, but first, KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. This traffic report is brought to you by Carpet Liquidators. Traffic is moving close to normal on most major roads right now, about 26 minutes from Alderwood to South Center on I-5, or 28 if you're taking 405. If you're traveling on the east side, Bellevue to Redmond is about 7 minutes, Bellevue to Issaquah 9, and Bellevue to Linwood about 15 minutes. YPay Retail save big with the largest carpet and hardwood flooring selection at Carpet Liquidators. 7 locations, they got you covered at Carpet Liquidators.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gachard. We are just 2 hours away from the next World Cup match here in Seattle. Belgium takes on Senegal at 1 o'clock. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin is outside Seattle Stadium and says if you couldn't get tickets, there's plenty of watch parties.
You can hit Westlake Park, Occidental Park, Downtown Bars, Victory Hall, Pacific Place, and the Mural Amphitheater near the Space Needle. Now, Pier 62 is also an option if you already have a registration ticket, but you cannot get one this morning. They are sold out. There are still tickets available for the barge, though. Those are $52 a piece, but it is a really cool watch party vibe, so definitely worth an option. The screens on the pier and the barge are both pretty large, so you can see those from the Salish Steps if you want to watch that for free.
The U.S. men are favored in tonight's World Cup knockout match against Bosnia.
The first two games, it's the best I've ever seen the national team.
But former Sounders goalkeeper and two-time World Cup veteran Marcus Henneman tells the Jason Rand Show on Seattle Red 770 AM, anything can happen.
It's a one-game series. That's what's so exciting about the World Cup. It's, once you get to that knockout stage, it's, you got to win.
If they do, they'll play here in Seattle on Monday night. Tonight's kickoff is at 5 o'clock at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. Washington State Ferries is preparing for one of the busiest weekends of the year. About 400,000 passengers are expected to ride between Thursday and Monday over the 4th of July weekend. Officials say the rush will be even heavier with thousands of visitors in Seattle for World Cup matches. The busiest sailings for drivers will be westbound Thursday and Friday, and then eastbound Sunday and Monday. And as many people gear up for celebrations, doctors at Harborview have a warning.
There's nothing that is more dangerous throughout the year, in my head, than mixing explosives and alcohol.
So far this year, Harborview has already treated 11 fireworks-related injuries, including burns, eye injuries, severe hand trauma. Dr. Arvin Akavan says this.
And we're going to see a lot of people who completely change their lives because they made one simple bad decision.
Doctors say the safest option is to leave the fireworks to the professionals. Now for your KIRO News Radio weather. Cloudy again today. Highs will be in the mid to low 60s. Right now, it's about 56 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gachard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Welcome to the Gee and Ursula Show. Angela Poe Russell is in for G today. It has been a very, very busy morning, and it continues to be so because we've got some breaking news, and we're going to get to that here in just a second. Good morning, Angela.
Good morning, Ursula. It's been fun to be with you so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that you've been fighting a cold and you're trying to hang in there, and I so appreciate that. As always, we invite you to join us on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
Top stories at 11
on the Gee and Ursula Show.
Okay, so before we get to World Cup and the festivities that are happening before today's big match, we want to talk about some breaking news because we are seeing that some big changes are coming to the King County Regional Homelessness Authority. And this is a story that we have been tracking for a while, Angela. You remember that an audit recently found that the agency couldn't account for $13 million in public funds. So there was a lot of talk as to, do you dismantle it? Do you make it smaller, put additional guardrails, or what? And so now we're seeing that King 5 and others are reporting that King County Executive Gurmai Zahalai and Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson are expected to announce that the city and county will be taking control of all local contracts, leaving the agency with only $67 million in federal funding. And so, as you know, the city of Seattle and King County are the bulk of the homelessness authority, of the funding. So this is a big change, and one that, quite frankly, I'm glad to see.
Yeah. Does this mean that it will dissolve? It says it will, according to King 5, these changes will result in layoffs of 20 to 25 people. And they have about 100 people. So that's a quarter of the staff. And with just federal funding, it puts it in, it's like, what does the future hold?
Well,
what does this mean?
One of the problems, and this is what I heard the county executive say yesterday, was dismantling it altogether would have meant all the federal funding could have been jeopardized. So I think this is a way to say we're acknowledging that this is an agency that has had a myriad of problems since the very beginning and needs to be downsized. First of all, it's just too big and unwieldy. And then it looks like they're going to have local control of the contracts, which, again, I think that has been one of the issues. So I think this is a step in the right direction. I mean, what is all this going to mean? How is it going to shake out? I think that's to be seen.
Yeah. What's interesting is just yesterday you spoke with Council President Joy Hollingsworth, and you asked her about this.
Yes. And in fact, remember I told you, I said in this morning's meeting when we were talking about it, I said I was surprised because initially when we had the Council President on the show, she had initially said, I am in favor of the city of Seattle basically taking control of the city's money again, but not dismantling the King County Regional Homelessness Authority. I think this is how they're achieving that. So
okay.
We're going to find out more.
All right.
Yeah, so we'll be finding out more because there will be a press conference later today. But we wanted to make sure while you listen to the Gee and Ursula Show, you're going to hear the breaking news.
There you go.
Okay, but right now, let's talk about something really fun because there is another World Cup match and our reporter, Jillian Raftery, is out and about. Where are you, Jillian?
I'm right here in Pioneer Square by one of the, I call it the party entrance zone because there's a bar right here that has a DJ that is kind of themed to each team's vibe as the fans are streaming through these like little entrance gates that funnels them towards the ticketing and security area. It's a pretty fun vibe and has been for every game.
Nice. So what can we anticipate, Jillian? And the other thing I want to ask is because you've been out and about for all the matches or most of them. I want to hear what stands out to you. Yeah. So what is standing out to you right now?
Every team has a different vibe and a different way to party. Everybody has kind of shown their different kind of party vibe. I will say the Bosnian fans were the rowdiest and the most fun kind of 24/7. The Egyptians partied late into the night. They had dance parties in Occidental Square. Right now, it's a little bit more subdued. Right now, I know the Belgian team has kind of set up shop at Victory near Victory Hall, kind of over on the other side of the ballpark from where I am, and they had a party starting. They opened their Red Devil headquarters starting at 8 a.m. Bars for blocks are already packed here. But it is a little bit more subdued. I think a lot more locals are coming to this game. I see a lot of more different kinds of jerseys. There's Brazil, there's Mexico represented, not just Belgium and Senegal who are playing today.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about because I know there were some citizens of Senegal who were not able to get visas to come to the U.S. to cheer on their team. So are you seeing a contingent of fans for them at all? Maybe locals who happen to be from there, have connections?
I've seen maybe one jersey,
wow.
But I haven't seen any other ones. I need to text someone that I know from Senegal and see what they're hearing, and I can report back to you on that. But so far, I've just seen some Belgian jerseys, and again, a lot of Mexico jerseys represented. I've heard from quite a few people who live here who said this is the game that they felt they could get a better deal on tickets for, and so this is the game that they're coming to.
It's so nice when teams can have some of their fans from their home country there. Like when I was there for the Bosnia game, you had so many people there from that country cheering their team on. And that's always rough. But hopefully it'll still be a good crowd for both teams.
Yes. Okay, Jillian, give us the, because it sounds like it's getting a little bit rowdier. Give us the details, though. What time does the match start? And again, what does the parking look like? What is the traffic situation looking like?
Yeah, the match starts at 1 o'clock and the streets around Pioneer Square are shut down. So what I would suggest is not trying to park downtown or trying to park somewhere pretty far away and then riding like the light rail into town. A lot of people from the east side will park at the Mercer Island Park and Ride. I've heard a lot of people say that's their plan. So you might want to choose a different park and ride if you're trying to light rail in from the east side. I've also seen some empty parking areas in the north end of Seattle and Capitol Hill. Those are good options if you can drive in and then kind of, do your last mile. I actually drove into the station from the east side today, which is on East Lake Avenue, and I took a line bike from East Lake Avenue. It was super easy. So there's lots of ways to get into downtown Seattle. Speaking of transit, I've got a note. One of my big things today that I am covering, there's a press conference by where advocates for businesses in the Chinatown International District are going to speak. I want to get their point across too, because I know we have limited time. They are saying that the CID is becoming a transit hub rather than people actually stopping there, and that businesses have been losing money during FIFA because people just transit in and then flow through and don't see it as a place to eat or rest or spend their time. The city hasn't given them enough attention, they say, and that's what I'm going to go find out about right here coming up at 11:30.
And thank you for bringing that up, because we did have a bakery owner on our show a couple of days ago, and he talked about how the World Cup matches have actually been his worst business days since he's opened. And one of the things is that somehow the messaging is going out to even to a lot of tourists that the International District is a dangerous place. And a lot of the problems that were downtown have been moved into the ID. And so it is something that we did ask the council president yesterday, like, what's the deal? It's been a raging success for a lot of folks, but for the people who are in an international district, they're feeling like, once again, we're being forgotten. So it is something that the city does need to address. But appreciate you, Jillian. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'll be reporting live all day. Have a great show, everybody.
All right. You have a good time.
Okay. Someone took issue with you trying to encourage people to spend that $500.
Oh, okay. Listen, I
wanted to give you a chance.
I want to be clear.
Yes.
I'm not. Okay, I can only be real, and I'm not one to advocate for people taking on credit card debt. I am, however, sharing my personal experience of trying to be the responsible one and missing out. And sometimes I do wonder, would it have been better to just do it because I missed the window?
Yes.
I missed the window of my kids being that age and doing that particular activity.
Yes.
So for me, it's more of a question, and I don't know if I would judge people harshly if they had a once in a lifetime. And, this isn't about going to the mall and charging it or going, you're talking about these experiences that come and go. I'm sure Susie Orman would be like, no, you cannot afford it and all that. But I think it can be a little more gray sometimes.
And there are a million things that I so appreciate about you, and you being real is one of the ones on the top of the list. Hey, let's talk about horse racing, because I saw this article in the Seattle Times. Horse racing at Emerald Downs is not dead per se, but it is wheezing a bit. The Seattle Times is reporting that the track is now canceling its 4 Friday night race cards in August because there just aren't enough horses to fill competitive races. According to Scott Hansen, the horse population at Emerald Downs is down 32% from last year. The average field size has dropped from just over 7 horses to barely more than 6. And that matters because, of course, if you have fewer horses, that means there's less betting and overall wagering. So the betting at Emerald Downs is down by 15%. Track president Phil Ziegler says the plan is not to eliminate the races, but to move them to Saturdays and Sundays when they might draw stronger fields. But I guess I'm not necessarily surprised about this. It's not just an Emerald Downs problem. This is actually a problem nationwide. The number of registered foals has been cut by more than half since 2005. The number of races in the U.S. has fallen from 52,000 to under 30,000. And I guess my question to you would be, is it time to end horse racing? Or even if you don't want it to end, do you ever see it making a real comeback?
Gosh, when I think about the factors that got us here, I mean, certainly more awareness around animal welfare.
Yes.
But also the rise in online sports betting.
Thank you.
And so people don't have to get up off their couch and go do that. They can make the bets online. I'm wondering if people will eventually exhaust of all the online stuff and seek those real experiences. You're like, no, Angela.
I say no because we talk about on the show how easy it is to gamble from your home.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So will we eventually crave the in-person experience, especially with horse racing? It's my understanding, I haven't been immersed in it, but they build events around it. It's the fashion around it and the activities, and it's a whole thing, right? So maybe people will eventually crave.
On the Kentucky Derby Day, I did go to Emerald Downs.
You see my point?
Yeah, and it was really fun.
What was the experience for those who've never been? So you dressed in a.
I actually had I had a goofy looking hat that I got as one of those gag gifts for Christmas, and one of those gift exchange.
What do they call those
exchanges?
I'm forgetting the name. They call them a.
So like the.
Forgetting the name of.
But mine has a bird on top of it. Okay? It's just I would not wear it anywhere else. But man, I felt right at home wearing it to the race on Kentucky Derby Day, and it was a lot of fun. But I didn't see like a very passionate crowd. And I actually have a friend who has some horses that he races. And one day he invited me to meet the horses, and he said, and he just said, what used to be such a big thing it's just harder and harder because the money just doesn't pencil out. It's not necessarily a scheduling problem. I think it's just a sport that no longer has the horses, the money, or the audience that it once had.
And I guess my question would be, is this just a U.S. problem or globally if you still have the demand? But I don't know. My gut is that probably some of the biggest factors have to do with just how our culture is shifting. And I don't see it going away, though. I don't see it going away. I just think it's going to evolve and maybe not be as big as it used to be.
And it might be. And, I want Emerald Downs to exist. I mean, I know that Ron Crockett and others have worked really hard to save it. And I think the people who are part of it, are very passionate about it.
Yep.
But it could be that it becomes a pastime that it really is, Kentucky and other places that can support it or have a casino attached to it, because the reality is it's just a different business model.
Something on TikTok that's cool, and all of a sudden it'll become a trend, and the young folks will be doing it. And by the way, this is why I love our text line.
Yes.
Because I couldn't think of the name of the hat. It's a fascinator.
It's the Fascinator.
Yes. I was like, it's on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah. Yes.
And you all always have our back.
Yes.
Always.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to bring up, we talked about the Supreme Court decision on birthright citizenship yesterday.
Yes.
And so I want to point out a Seattle federal judge, John Kuhnauer, because after 17 months of legal fighting, his first instinct, as it turns out, was one that held. So back in January of 2025, Judge Kuhnauer heard President Trump's attempt to end birthright citizenship, and he called it blatantly unconstitutional. And he said he couldn't remember another case where the legal question was so crystal clear. And for people who are not familiar with John Kuhnauer, he is not a liberal activist judge, which is a term that we hear all the time. He was actually appointed by former President Ronald Reagan. And so now the U.S. Supreme Court has agreed, ruling 6-3, that President Trump cannot deny citizenship to babies born in the U.S. to undocumented parents or to parents who are here on student work visas or just here temporarily. And State Attorney General Nick Brown had sued to block this order, and this could have affected about 4,000 babies born in our state every year. But in the Seattle Times article, Kuhnauer told the Times that this case actually brought ugly threats, including there was a swatting incident and a false bomb threat because he
stood up for the Constitution.
Yes.
He actually said this was a very obvious one. And even the Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court, who is gone with President Trump on most of these things, said, no, this is actually unconstitutional to do this. And the people that are doing this are people that say they are pro-Constitution. But my reaction to this, the thing I want to point out, is the idea that if you stand for nothing, you will fall for anything. And it's the people around this who were defending this kind of thing. It's so heartbreaking and discouraging. And when you look, so many of us, You know you've done it. You look back at history and you think, how could that have happened? We would never do that. And here we are. Because also in this article, I love what the judge said, because there was a lawyer from the Justice Department coming to him and saying, yep, this is unconstitutional. He was like, you're not really saying that. His words were, he asked the Justice Department lawyer, did you think this order from the president was constitutional? And the lawyer said it absolutely was. And it's like, dude, you went to law school, okay? And the judge went on to say, the federal judge, he said, there are other times in world history where we look back and people of goodwill can say, where were the judges? Where were the lawyers? You were busy defending BS for what I am. And it's not just these people. It's the doctors who sit by and watch people act unethically and you say nothing and you think that's okay. Well, saying nothing is just as bad as getting in front of a judge and saying the sky is green when you know it's blue. It's what people will do for money and power and prestige boggles my mind.
And for
the same way it did
too.
This judge.
Yes. Well, absolutely.
You got to be kidding me.
I just want to say again, kudos to Judge Kuhnauer, who had it right and wasn't going with, the whole party thing and versus let's read the Constitution. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Thank you and goodbye.
Yes. Okay, still ahead, we agree to disagree. We've got more of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up next.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes. KIRO Newsradio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
A political shakeup for Democrats that represent Seattle.
Traffic.
Right now, Auburn to Renton at 25 minutes. That's a good 10-minute delay.
Conversation.
3 people on the floor can't cover 20 aisles of plexiglass. They're doing their best. It just doesn't work.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
And the party begins.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel. KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. The sounds of summer. They're great until they're not. Luckily, AutoZone has free battery testing and charging
Let me check that for you.
to help make a rough moment smooth. Don't miss the Celebrate Free event at AutoZone. Free products with select deals until July 27th. And free services every day. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Les Schwab Tires has been proudly serving communities for over 70 years, and we've collected thousands of inspiring stories. Like Kate, who was off on a long road trip with her best friend when the dash lit up like a game show. They find the nearest Les Schwab. Turns out they really needed an oil change. It was done in a flash. Road trip saved. At Les Schwab, we're proud to keep you rolling. Les Schwab Tires. Our greatest story is yours. Stories are composites inspired by real customer feedback.
Hi, I'm Marla at Sky Nursery with a heads up that gardening in July has its challenges. Seattle summer drought can cause plants to droop in just a matter of hours, and rabbits and aphids can get a little out of hand in your garden, especially if you have any travel plans this summer. That's where an experienced Sky gardener can make a difference with down-to-earth and sustainable solutions to all manner of gardening quagmires. After all, you deserve to enjoy a beautiful, thriving summer garden without having to learn the hard way first. We can help. Head to skynursery.com.
Nick, you know what's a great thing about going to Longevity Medical Clinic as a couple?
Oh, I absolutely do. When they tell you to do something, you actually do it.
Right. And the same thing with you. When they tell you to do it, because for some reason, when I tell you to do it, you're like, whoa.
I just walk away and roll my eyes.
Exactly. But the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic, the doctors there know, because we do the blood draw and they look and they can see, they know, they hold us accountable.
Yeah, when I'm under pressure and I know I'm coming in, I know I have to work the program.
Right. Plus, we also want to hold each other accountable for how we take care of ourselves because, you know, we want to have a long, healthy, happy life.
I know. I want every day to torture you as long as I possibly can.
Well, I look forward to it. Here's the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic. They're working with you. They're holding you accountable because they want you to have a long, healthy, happy life. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
Olympic Hot Tub's All-American Soak, Swim, and Sauna event is here. Now's the time to save thousands on a saltwater hot tub, swim spa, or sauna. With up to 3 years to pay for it, interest-free. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. In New York City, 2 people are now in custody after they climbed to the top of the Empire State Building. One of the climbers then appeared to propose to the other before they climbed down. ABC's Aaron Katursky has more.
It is not clear right now how the two got into a position where they would be able to climb the metal structure that is meant for maintenance and other broadcast professionals as they work on the radio antenna there. So there are many questions about what has gone on at the Empire State Building, but the 2 individuals are now in custody of the NYPD.
Seattle and King County are taking back control of more than $160 million in homelessness contracts from the regional authority created in 2019. That's according to the Seattle Times. The agency will manage only federal funds. Local control will be fully restored by January. Back in April, a forensic audit revealed $13 million in taxpayer funds were mismanaged amid a growing $45 million budget deficit. Belgian soccer fans are marching to their match with Senegal at Seattle Stadium. KIRO 7 TV is in the marching with the fans known as the Red Devils. Our KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery is in Pioneer Square ahead of the 1 o'clock match.
There's blocks of lines coming off of the light rail and a whole bunch of fans already lining up outside Seattle Stadium. And just to note, there are a lot of locals coming to this game. I think more locals from the Seattle region and Washington State than we've seen at other games. There's a significant presence for both teams as well. Everyone's spirits are very high and the bars are packed for blocks. It's going to be a great game. Reporting from Pioneer Square, Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Fireworks may be a 4th of July tradition, but Harborview doctors say they're also one of the busiest and most heartbreaking parts of the holiday. Dr. Chelsea Bro.
The injuries themselves are blast injuries, so it's a huge amount of force that tend to have an explosive impact on the hand.
The trauma center has already treated 11 fireworks patients so far this year. Doctors say if you're using fireworks, avoid alcohol, keep your distance, and never hold one in your hand while lighting it. Now to your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic with Ted Beener.
Thank you. This traffic report is brought to you by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians and Firecracker Alley. Overall, traffic is moving well throughout the Puget Sound region. The busy places, they involve all the traffic around the stadium area for the 1 p.m. World Cup game and on I-5 leading into downtown. Northbound 405 also slows through the Renton Curves, as well as southbound I-5 through Marysville and Northgate to the Ship Canal Bridge, thanks to volume. Drive times, Seattle to Tacoma, that's just 38 minutes. Tacoma to Olympia is just under 35 minutes. Your Puyallup to Renton drive time is 20 minutes, and if you're heading north, your Seattle or Bellevue to Everett drive times, both of those are just under a half hour. This traffic report is brought to you by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians and Firecracker Alley. Stock up for the 4th at Firecracker Alley. Learn more at puyallup-tribe-nsn.gov. I'm Ted Beener with KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic.
For your weather, you can enjoy some afternoon sun breaks right now. Highs are in the mid-60s for the day. Right now, it's about 57 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It is 11:34. You're listening to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out. Angela Poe Russell is in. It is time for us to agree to disagree. Brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
The country's best hot dog? Apparently, it's our very own Seattle dog. That means cream cheese, caramelized onions, and if you like the heat, jalapeno now have a national seal of approval. But does the Seattle dog deserve the honor? Ursula?
Oh, you know what? I kind of like having Seattle be at the top of the list when it comes to a food item. And why not the Seattle dog? I'm not a big hot dog fan. Okay, I just got to keep it real. Angela, you like to keep it a buck. I need to keep it a buck. If I'm going to choke down a hot dog, it's got to have some cream cheese and all the extra stuff on it and make it interesting, because otherwise I'm not going for it. The only time I somewhat enjoy a hot dog is for whatever reason at the ballpark. And for whatever reason, it's always what my husband chooses to get. And so I share it with him and I'll have it. But otherwise, it's not going to be my food of choice.
All the fancy stuff there, the crab nachos and the sushi. And you're like, but give me the hot dog and the Cracker Jack.
Apparently. Yeah, it just hits a certain way. The other thing that also tastes good are the dogs that are the sausages that are made outside of the stadium. I do love those.
Okay.
On occasion. Occasion. But so am I happy that it's the Seattle dog? Why not?
All right. What was the exact question again?
Does the Seattle dog deserve the honor?
No.
Of best hot dog?
No. What is on this? Cream cheese, caramelized onion. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Now, you're wondering how I know this. I've never tried it.
Oh, get out, Angela. Then you're not.
Wait, you're saying it's not okay to never try something, but
Hold
to
on,
say it's
let me mute
bad?
your mic.
Are you saying that that's not
okay?
okay?
Comment on this.
That's not okay to say you've never tried it?
Well, I think you're keeping
and
it.
Yet
You're
have
keeping
an
it
opinion?
real.
How can you have an opinion if you've never tried it?
That's a good point.
So
it sounds bad.
Why haven't you had it? Yeah, why haven't you had it?
It doesn't sound appealing.
Oh, gotcha.
I love Seattle and I love the idea of us having a winning recipe to something, but I'm so classic. Like char the dog, give me mustard, ketchup, and relish, and that's it. And the bun needs to be heated up.
Okay, yes.
And yeah, none of this. But okay, so we're agreeing that you shouldn't diss something you haven't tried.
Yeah.
No, because otherwise
Or
there
you
would be a
shouldn't
lot of
have an
things we can't talk about.
Or you shouldn't have an opinion on something you haven't researched.
Well, my family says don't yuck on someone else's yum. And I like that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Don't yuck on someone else's yum. Okay, that's awesome. I'm happy for the Seattle dog. And you know
you'll root
what?
it on.
I am going to make a commitment that this summer I am going to try the Seattle dog. I will try it, report back, and send it to the Gee and Ursula Show.
That would be
Facebook
great.
page.
I mean,
because
this is just research at this point.
it is research, and I will say, if you're going to have a hot dog, the Seattle dog is the way to go.
How does it go together, cream cheese and a...
Do you like cream cheese?
On a bagel.
Okay. Well, it's still bread now. We're talking about still bread. And it takes some of the tang away from the hot dog, and it's a different texture. And then caramelized onions. Again, you've got another, it just makes it interesting. Otherwise, a hot dog is a hot dog. Nick.
I've had it a couple of times. I mean, I wouldn't say it's my favorite kind of dog necessarily, but it's pretty good. I like the ones like the Chicago dog that's got the pickle and the tomato with the mustard on there. But yeah, cream cheese on a hot dog, it's okay. I mean, I'll eat it, but I get Angela's point where it's like, if you don't eat cream cheese a lot, then it makes sense that you're kind of skeptical about it. But, you might as well give it a shot. I don't blame you for saying you might not like it, though.
Okay. Well,
So
weigh in.
diplomatic.
888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Allie in Tacoma says, be the change you want to see in the world, Angela. Time to have a Seattle dog.
Oh, I'm being fired for this. Kay from Lakewood says, Angela, you are fired. Seattle dogs are fire.
Awesome.
Well, very famous chef in the who did the taste test, Jose Andres. His quote was, to your question, Angela, about the cream cheese. Quote, what the cream cheese does is navigate very well into the sweetness of the onion, the mustard, the jalapeno. It almost becomes a diplomat that brings everything together.
Okay, I got to try this. And I've never had a Chicago dog either. And I'm going to Chicago in a couple weeks. So I think I try the Seattle dog before I leave and then check out Chicago. I'll keep you guys posted.
That's pretty. I just like tomatoes. I just like tomatoes on everything. So Chicago dog's up there for me.
Oh.
But do you see
I
how
didn't even realize a Chicago dog has. What does a Chicago dog have?
It's got a pickle, tomato, and some mustard on there. Maybe a few other things like onion. But yeah, it's a very garden-friendly hot dog.
Oh.
But do you see how I'm modeling being open to a new perspective?
I love that. Right.
Yes.
You're not just planting and staying there no matter what evidence you're given. You're saying, hey, maybe I need to actually try it, and then I might change my mind.
There you go.
I love that. I love that. Okay, Laura.
For World Cup tourists, one souvenir tops them all. Get it? Condiment topping?
Yeah.
Visitors from Scotland
Oh,
and
no,
Germany are smuggling bottles of ranch dressing into their suitcases, and companies are rising to meet the craze. First, Kraft came out with a TSA compliant size of ranch dressing, and now UPS is offering a 20% ship and dip promotion for mailing the condiment anywhere in the world. You get 20% off.
Okay, question. Is ranch overrated? I'm throwing that to you.
For everything except a chicken wing and celery. No salad. There are too many other great salad dressings. I guess people are using it for all kinds of things now, but chicken wings and celery, I just can't think of another dip.
But it has to be a certain type of ranch as well. Like for me, the Hidden Valley Ranch, okay, you guys are going to laugh, but if it's Hidden Valley Ranch, I like it. But there's certain ranch, it's just like with mayonnaise, like Miracle Whip, forget it.
These organic ones, I think they've done well on other ones, but ranch, they have not cracked that nut yet.
Ketchup, too. I can't do organic ketchup.
Neither can I. Yes, but I have not had I'm sorry. I haven't had one of those vegan whatever ranch things that have done it
Just
yet.
You want unadulterated ranch. But here's my question. All these foreign visitors who are going on and on, the thing that is trending on social media is our ranch dressing. And I'm like, of all the things that you're eating, I mean, I'm more excited about a Seattle dog than I am ranch dressing.
Can I ask a really dumb question? What is in ranch? Like, I know it has to be dairy, milk.
Buttermilk.
And I'm thinking,
wait, but the buttermilk is good.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there's just
cucumber.
A certain
I picture that cucumber might be in it.
Okay, Cliff in Woodinville says ranch is underrated. It works on so many things.
Like what?
Well, you just mentioned.
Well, I mentioned the wings and salad,
veggies.
but other than that,
Pizza crust. I like it. I like drizzling it on my pizza too. I've heard some crazy stories. Some people like ranch on their spaghetti as well.
I'm scarred. Okay, so that's something else I have to try because I'm yucking his
Okay,
yum.
someone just said,
I'm yucking
Bonnie
his yum.
says, Uncle Dan's Ranch is local and
Okay, I haven't tried
that's
that.
a good one to try. But I'm with Kevin and Black Diamond. Ranch is definitely overrated. There are so many other better options other than ranch. I would put the whole garlic aioli thing. Anytime there's an aioli, count me in.
Aioli is just a term for glorified mayo. I mean, come on.
Fancy mayo.
But fancy mayo. Then they have like the little, basil aioli.
Can I tell you, I used to work at a cafe,
Yes.
and our garlic aioli was literally a tub of mayonnaise from the walk-in, and then I would put garlic powder in it and mix it up with a fork. And that was our garlic aioli.
No.
And guess what? It tasted great.
It
and
did taste
nobody knew, and I still make it that way at home.
Oh, now I want to know where this
What's
was.
the ratio
Oh,
for
it's
that?
not open anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
The ratio is whatever your heart is telling you.
Oh, measure with your heart.
Measure
One
with
of
your
those.
heart.
Okay, and then Tim in Auburn says bacon ranch. Now, bacon ranch is pretty darn
Bacon
good.
with everything.
This is true. Unless you're vegan or vegetarian. Okay, still ahead, we hear ya and our words to live by.
Hartley Wilcox here. I'm sure you've heard the saying, you are what you eat. And everyone knows eggs are an incredible source of natural protein and omega-3. But have you ever stopped to think about what the hens eat to make the eggs great tasting and even healthier to eat? At Wilcox Farms, we believe in nature-first nutrition. Our hens enjoy pasture access and a diet of organic grains and flaxseed. That means vibrant golden yolks, richer flavor, and higher omega-3s for you and your family. When you choose Wilcox, you're not just buying eggs, you're investing in real nutrition and real value. Because healthy hens make healthy eggs, and healthy eggs make healthy, happy families. So next time you're at the store, look for Wilcox Family Farms eggs. Taste the difference that starts with what our hens eat. Learn more at wilcoxfarms.com. Wilcox Farms, where better eggs begin with better care. Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh since 1909.
Spike O'Neill here. If your loved one's caregiver is planning a vacation or just needs a break, why not consider Aegis Living Respite Care, a short-term stay that provides 24/7 expert care, Aegis Living amenities, and peace of mind for you and your family. Go to aegisliving.com/spike to schedule a visit today.
Deep to right field. Going, goodbye baseball.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But for a view that's a real home run, check out right field. Make that the dump yard. Sure, it's a great spot to see our fearless outfielders fly, dive, and slide.
Wow! Victor Robles makes the catch!
But you might get to flash some leather too, because the forecast in the dump yard always calls for rain. Raining big dumper home runs, that is.
Number 60, the magical tour of Cal Raleigh just continues.
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
Don't miss this week's Cal Raleigh Funko Pop giveaway. You have one last chance to score this one-of-a-kind collectible when the Mariners take on the Angels tomorrow at 6:40 at T-Mobile Park. The first 10,000 fans will head home with this must-have Funko Pop. Lock in your seats and check out full lineup of special events at mariners.com.
All right, I'm so excited to be talking with Phil Mitchell. He's a new advertiser to the show. He owns Sunset Auto Family. Phil, welcome.
Thanks, Jake.
You guys offer something that I think is so valuable. We have so many listeners in our audience who are business owners and a lot of people who are driving commercial vehicles. You guys are basically like a perfect silent partner because you offer repairs for life on these commercial vehicles. Tell me about that.
Well, basically, repairs for life means any vehicle that we repair for over $250, we're going to cover that repair for as long as you own the vehicle. So if you got a commercial fleet and you put a transmission in your 250,000-mile truck, we're going to cover that for life.
And you think about the value added there for a small business owner who is trying to stretch every single mile out of these vehicles.
You don't even have to buy the vehicle from us to get the repairs for life. Basically, we want to service your entire fleet. So if you bought your fleet from somewhere else, let us service it. We'll give you repairs for life. We're going to save you thousands.
Love it. Only at Sunset Ford and Sunset Chevrolet in Sumner. You just get more at Sunset, and people do like that.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
From the people who brought you It's the Dog Park comes.
Your dog is limping, but she seems fine. Plus, you've heard they can fake it just to get what they want. So what's the deal now? You're being gaslit.
Protect your dog from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance.
Oh, now she switched legs. What a diva.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms.
Eric Johnson here. I covered a lot of accidents over the past 30 years or so, but I never got to say much about what to do after a crash. Be honest, do you know what evidence to collect, what pictures to take, what documents to request, or what you shouldn't say to your insurance company? The Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the roads throw at them. Know your rights and how to avoid common mistakes after an accident by getting your free copy at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
And I'm sad to say we are at the end of the Wednesday edition of the Gee and Ursula Show on this July 1st. Happy July to all of you. And Angela, thank you so much for stepping in for Gee as he MCs another World Cup match.
Thank you for having me. I had an absolute blast with you, the team, and everyone listening, texting in. It's been awesome.
I know. Sometimes I have to pinch myself and remind myself, like, this is a job. Not because it doesn't feel like a job some days.
Right.
I mean, truly. But I want you to start with the text messages.
Yeah, let's do it. Stand by. Okay. In our first, we were talking about the Seattle dog. Sue in Tacoma, because it was voted like the best one in the country. Is that the headline?
Yes.
Okay, Sue in Tacoma says, anything is better with cream cheese on it. Fair argument.
I love cream cheese. I love flavored cream cheese, too.
You do?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Chris in Seattle says, my family just visited Seattle from out of state for their first time, and they tried Seattle dogs, and now they have made them multiple times since they've been back home. Yum.
You know what I put cream cheese in is macaroni and cheese. I make a homemade roux, and I put the cream cheese in the roux.
That makes sense. It would make it just that much more rich.
If I have leftover cream cheese, you just throw it in there. It's a little more rich.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. Destiny in Seattle. Angela, go to Shorty's downtown, get the Seattle dog, play some pinball, and give it a go. Destiny, you got it. I'm doing it.
And Nikki says, you know what? You can't knock it before you try it. But see, even within the show, Angela, you changed your mind and you are going to go in with an open mind and try one.
I'm going to try it. Diana in Seattle, I've always thought that cream cheese on a hot dog sounded repulsive, but then I just heard Chef Jose on a podcast and I'm so wanting to try it now.
Okay, we also talked about much more serious topics, including trans youth in sports and the Supreme Court decision. Maya on Whidbey Island said, thank you for discussing this very sensitive topic. I'm just not sure this is an appropriate topic for an initiative vote. And for the reasons that you are citing, it is so complicated, and unfortunately, too many voters have little applicable knowledge and see it merely as an emotional issue.
Very thoughtful text. Ernie in Kent, another solution looking for a problem. That seems to be the theme of this administration.
Brian in Marysville says rowing has an open gender category and it goes all the way to national championships.
Erica M. Ursula, I really appreciate your thoughtfulness, honesty, and pragmatic approach to trans issues. It becomes tiresome to hear the constant drumbeat from extreme positions on either side of an issue that really isn't one. It is a tiny, tiny fraction of the population that people on either side of the issue incorrectly latch on to. Thank you.
On getting married later, and having kids later in life. Lynn and Enumclaw said, I got married when I was 24. That meant I had a double income household at the age of 24 to work on buying a house, getting down payments, etc. It was still a difficult task in some ways, but when you wait to get married until you're 30 or 35, it's much more difficult. You're not going to be able to afford a house without a second income. Well, that's a different way of looking at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Sharon, the Scrabble savant, fertility gets to be more of an issue when waiting to start a family. My granddaughter is IVF, a huge blessing, but quite costly for the process to have her.
Jeff in Bonnie Lake says there's also this mindset that, I don't know if I want to bring a child into this world because things are quote unquote bad. It is a false premise because the modern world is safer than it's ever been.
Sasha and Bellevue, it's too expensive to have kids and no one is addressing student debt. They need to get rid of student loan interest. The economy will grow due to increased spending. People would have kids sooner and depression rates would go down.
Regarding calling in sick, you shared, Angela, that you were recently sick and you were trying to debate, like, what should I do?
Right.
And you said that your thinking has really changed since COVID.
Yes. Definitely more conservative, staying home more.
Yes. Yeah. Tracy in Tacoma says, in our post-COVID world, I feel compelled to share my medical history with complete strangers. Like after sneezing loudly, announcing that it's just allergies, don't worry, or showing a picture of the negative COVID flu test to prove that I'm not going to infect anybody. Going out in public with any noticeable symptoms requires an exhausting amount of self-reflection. I think my decisions to stay home are motivated by avoiding public scrutiny more than protecting others.
I love the realness of that text.
That was an honest one.
Yeah, it was a lot, yeah. Layla, calling sick for business owners? Never. You're always short of staff and you have to work yourself to keep it going. I lost my mother and I only closed one day. This is the story of most business owners. So true. Like you have to keep the ship afloat.
And then on getting into the World Cup, you had mentioned that maybe we can, spend a little bit and make sure that you have a chance to deal with.
If it's that important, I'm not saying to do
to
it.
you. Yes,
I'm saying I understand if you do.
Absolutely. But Dave in Snohomish County, he's by the way, I have said something similar in a other show, and Dave in Snohomish County also said the same thing. Do not go into debt taking your kids to a sporting event. Do not go into debt going on holiday. Do not go into debt buying an engagement ring. Live within your means, save some money, and then use that if something special comes up that you want to. But please don't go into debt. Otherwise, in a few years, you'll be blaming everything that's happening on the world for your personal problems.
I love it. It's good advice.
Yes.
Great advice.
Yeah, and sometimes you're going to just say, hey, you live once, and maybe I just do it this time. Okay, I'm going to do a quote that you did earlier today, and it's actually Alexander Hamilton.
Ah, okay.
Those who stand for nothing fall for anything. And I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So important to stand for something.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Especially, I just think like it's always a good, I think Martin Luther King said this, like it's always a good time to do the right thing.
Exactly. You can't go wrong with that. Angela, thank you again. Appreciate
Thank you for having me.
Laura, thank you so much.
Oh, it was
I
so
hope
fun
you
to
had
be
fun.
here. I had so much fun.
Well, we're going to do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be back here tomorrow.
Yes,
I
Gee
can't
will
wait.
be back tomorrow. Nick.
Well, we've reached the cliff's edge of this holidays travel weekend, from the road to catching flights with SEA's new spots and trends. And perhaps you snagged an extra couple days to fill your break, claiming to your boss you might be ill and need sick time you take. And if they ask the remedy for what you need to heal, you might tell them a Seattle dog will give you better feels. But if you're asking Angela, it might not be the cream cheese that'll do it for her on the dog. Maybe some ranch, ketchup, or I even heard she likes a little Miracle Whip every once in a while, if the rumor is true.
No. I just found out today you like Miracle Whip.
Yeah, not on the hot dog, though. Let's not mix and cross-pollinate here. Miracle Whip in the tuna salad or the chicken salad. Maybe
or nowhere.
Or nowhere. That's you.
Thank you so much, everybody. Jake and Spike, that show's coming up next. Stay with us.
Hope you had as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Hey there, Dawn Riding with Olympic Hot Tub. Make this the summer you start to relax and feel better right in your own home. During our All-American Soak, Swim, and Sauna event, enjoy liberating savings on a saltwater hot tub, swim spa, or sauna, with up to 3 years to pay for it interest-free. A soak or swim under the stars, a sauna after a long day. Celebrate feeling better today. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Have you ever really thought about what happens when you can no longer care for yourself?
If you're not prepared, it's like they just ship you off to a nursing home and you may not even have considered all the options that are available to you.
After retiring, Vic attended a free seminar with elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayach at LifePoint Law, and it changed the way he planned for his future.
He talked about not running out of money, not being a burden to your family. Those are two kind of basic principles that are obviously important.
So what's Vic's advice?
You have to have a plan. You need a running start. You need to be able to understand the system. I would encourage people to consider getting educated. Rajiv has a lot of knowledge, a lot of practical experience that can be helpful.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Federal Way on July 7th, Bremerton July 9th, Everett July 11th, or Bellevue July 18th. Space is limited. Sign up at lifepointlaw.com. lifepointlaw.com.
Les Schwab Tires has always believed that taking care of people is the right thing to do. Today, that means more than trusted service. It means delivering real value, too. That's why we're lowering prices on hundreds of tires without changing the service and expertise you've always counted on. Consumer Reports named Les Schwab the best tire retailer for 2026. We'll keep working every day to earn your trust. See leschwab.com for details.
Healthcare costs are rising, and a major driver is hospital prices. They've increased more than 250% over the past 25 years. Families and local businesses are feeling it. At Primera Blue Cross, we're working to change that by negotiating with hospitals to secure fair, responsible prices so you can get the care you need at a cost you can afford. That's coverage that counts. Learn more at coveragethatcounts.primera.com.
Progressive Insurance. Progressive can protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, RV, and more. In short, a lot of things. Bundle today at progressive.com.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist